good things, fell in love with this gem at first sight. Judging from the purity of this gem, even if you have money, it would be difficult to buy an identical one. Did they really send this gem? Of course. The housekeeper looked a little embarrassed. I didn't expect them to be so generous. It makes us look stingy. Although he didn't know the specific value of the gem, he was the royal steward after all. He had seen many good things, and he could tell at a glance that this gem was extraordinary. Such a gem would cost at least millions. It's already been delivered, just keep it. Dylier waved his hand, asked the housekeeper to leave, and went to bed. However, he couldn't fall asleep for a while. It's not like he hasn't received gemstone gifts of this level before, but they were all given to him by close people on important days. But Su Yuan's family just came to his house for dinner, but they gave him such an expensive gift. It was hard for him not to imagine whether they had other intentions. But he didn't think much about it. We're going to meet tomorrow anyway, so just ask about this matter clearly. What? The next day after Dylier had breakfast, he asked the housekeeper, "Has the car been sent out?" "According to your instructions, the car has been dispatched. It will arrive at the destination in about 40 minutes. You will leave in 10 minutes and will be able to meet up with them." "Okay." Dylier nodded and asked, "Where's Sally?" Princess Sally got up early in the morning, much earlier than usual. She is now dressed and reading in her room. She is ready to go at any time. "Okay, call her over." The servant quickly brought out Sally, who was wearing a pink princess tutu. She happily ran to Dylier and hugged his thighs. "Dad, I just went downstairs to see Kendi, but the housekeeper said Kendi hasn't gotten up yet. The little lion is still young, so of course he needs to sleep longer. Let's go out and play first, and then play with the little lion when we come back." "What? Where are we going?" They agreed to go out together the next day, so Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu took Ping An and Rui into the car sent by Dylier. Seeing that the journey was quite long, I started asking the driver. The driver smiled and said, "Madam Su, I am taking you to the racecourse that our prince often goes to. It is the largest racecourse in Dubai and has tens of thousands of horses from all over the world. There, you can not only buy horses, race horses, enjoy the beautiful scenery, but also play horse racing games." And horse racing. This aroused Zhao Qingsu's interest. After Su Yuan's farmhouse expanded, he did raise horses, but he only raised a dozen or so, and they were just ornamental animals. She had never seen an event like horse racing before, and the only thing she knew about it was from old movies. "I didn't expect there was horse racing here. Of course, it's still a buy now and play model. You can watch it on site. Our prince often goes there to play." As Zhao Qingsu was looking forward to it, they soon arrived at the entrance of the racecourse. The gate didn't look like anything special. After the car stopped at the gate, the four people got out and saw Diri already waiting at the door. "Have you been waiting for a long time?" "I just got here 2 minutes ago, so I didn't have to wait long." Dylier glanced at the watch on his wrist and said, "Come on, let's go in. The racecourse is too big, so it is impossible to walk around. There are special sightseeing buses with transparent glass all around, so you can see all the scenery outside the window. The buses have leather seats and provide a variety of iced drinks and snacks. There are really a lot of horses here. I heard that you, Prince, often come here to play. After all, he is a man, and Su Yuan is actually quite interested in horse racing. Of course, one of my biggest hobbies is horse riding. Equestrianism is pretty good. I wonder if Mr. Su likes it." When talking about his horsemanship, Dirier showed a smile on his face. Seeing that he was being modest, the butler next to him began to praise him. "Our prince's horsemanship is one of the best here. Few people can outrun our prince. But of course, our prince is amazing, and his horse is the best Korkin horse in this stable. This horse is the only son of the previous generation of Horse King. He has been stronger than other horses since he was young. Now he is the new generation of Horse King in the stable. Our prince spent a lot of money to get this horse." A big price. Su Yuan had heard before that some horses could be sold at sky-high prices, but he had no interest in this area, so he had never read about it. Now that he heard the housekeeper talk about it, he asked this question out of curiosity. "It's not a big price." Dylier answered, "It's just over 20 million. "More than 20 million. Zhao Qingsu was stunned for a moment. Can a horse be sold at such a high price? "Of course." Dylier enjoyed Zhao Qingsu's surprised expression. "I'll take you to see my horse later. When you see it, you won't be so surprised." "Good." Seeing the proud expression on Dylier's face, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu also wanted to go over and take a look. "This is delicious. Let me give you a taste." Ping An, Rui, and Sai Li also get along very well over there. Although Sai Li is a little princess, she is just a child. The sightseeing bus drove slowly for more than 10 minutes and finally arrived at the racecourse. "Prince, you are here. Please come with us, Tilda Tilda." As soon as they saw Dylier coming, the staff of the horse farm immediately came up to greet him warmly. "Did you bring new friends here today? Anyone who could come with Dylier must be either rich or noble." And the staff was also very enthusiastic towards Su Yuan and his companions. "Yes, this is Mr. Su's family." Dylier briefly introduced Su Yuan and others, and then asked, "Where's Modi?" "Inside." As soon as Diri mentioned Modi, the staff immediately took him inside and soon arrived at Modi's room. "Let's get the conditions for raising horses when we get back." After arriving at the stables, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu discovered that the stables here were all single rooms, not only equipped with a 24-hour constant temperature system, but also with exhaust fans, a toilet for horses to go to the toilet, and a place for horses to rest with mats of moderate hardness. That's Morty. Of course, the horses that can enjoy such a nice place are also extraordinary. Chapter 462, by 1 million first. Chapter 462. Su Yuan looked towards Modi and Diri. "I have to say that Modi is a horse worth 20 million. He is dark red in color, tall, strong, graceful, and his hair is shiny. Just one look, and you can tell that his horse is different from other horses. Looking at it this way, although the price of 20 million is outrageous, it is not impossible. Morty, I'm here to see you. How are you? Did you miss me? I'll take you out for a good run later." As soon as he saw Modi, Dylier happily came over, hugged the horse's head and rubbed and touched it. The horse seemed to have some spirituality as well, as if it recognized its master. Its attitude towards Diri was quite different from its attitude towards the staff. It seems that this horse is also snobbish. No wonder it is sold at such a high price. "Daddy, I want to touch Morty too." Sally ran to Diri's thighs and jumped wildly. Dylier smiled, picked her up, and brought her to Modi's horse head. Sally reached out her hand and carefully touched Morty, stroking his soft fur for a few times, and asked, "Dad, didn't you say that when I grow up you would buy me a horse to ride? I'm grown up now, can you buy me a horse?" "You are not grown up yet." What Diri liked most about Sally was that his little daughter not only resembled him in personality, but also had basically the same hobbies as him. It was obvious at first glance that she was his biological daughter. "But I'm 6 years old. I'll buy you a horse when you're 16. 16 years old, that's going to take a long time." Sally pouted, looking a little unhappy. Dylier hugged her and coaxed her for a while, and she reluctantly agreed to wait until she was 16. "Prince, it's time for Morty to take a bath." The staff over there came over and reminded. They have professionals who take care of Morty. They comb his hair, bathe him, feed him, give him water, and even give him massages and play music for him at fixed times. "Okay." After hearing what the staff said, Dylier did not object. He waved his hand and said to Su Yuan, "Come on, Mr. Su, I'll take you to watch horse racing. It's very exciting. You can play a few rounds with me." "Okay." Under the leadership of Diri, several people quickly arrived at a wide circular arena. The stadium is very large, and it is indoors. It looks like it can accommodate tens of thousands of people without any problem. In the middle of the stadium is a track specially used for horse racing. In the middle there is a large screen that displays horse information and the amount of bets for each horse. When Su Yuan and his companions walked in, there were not many people inside, but it could be seen that they were all rich people, and they were well dressed. It seemed that this place was a place specially for rich people to have fun. Although the place was big, it was probably not full. "Come sit here." Diri picked a good seat and asked a few people to sit down. The staff over there came over immediately and handed them 2 tablets. Seeing that it was the first time for Su Yuan and his friends to come, they introduced. "If you need to place a bet, just register an account on it, bind your bank card, and then place the bet by yourself. Of course, if you find it troublesome, you can also tell me the amount you want to bet, and I can place the bet for you in the background. I have to say the service is quite humane." Su Yuan swiped the tablet and found Zhao Qingsu coming over to look. Then he realized that the staff had only given the tablet to him and Dilly, and not to the other children or Zhao Qingsu. This made him a little unhappy, and he said to the staff, "Please bring a tablet for my wife as well." This isn't appropriate." The staff member was standing nearby with a smile on his face, and didn't think there was anything wrong with his service. But Su Yuan's words made him stunned. He had seen men bringing women to the racecourse before, but those women were just supporting roles and had no say. The law also stipulated that women were not allowed to gamble. "What's inappropriate?" Su Yuan frowned. "Why do you look down on me or my wife?" Sir, we have a rule here that women are not allowed to participate in gambling activities. Besides, we don't have a precedent of women betting here, so bring one here. While the staff was talking nonsense, Deary spoke impatiently. But, call your manager over here. Dylier was not polite at all to people he looked down upon, and directly called the manager over. As soon as the manager saw Dylier, he flattered her and said a lot of nice things. After listening to what happened, he personally handed the tablet to Zhao Qingsu and apologized to her. Madam, I'm really sorry. This is because our staff here are ignorant. I apologize to you here. Make him apologize. Deary ordered coldly. The manager did not dare to offend Deary, so he quickly asked the staff member to apologize and fined him half a month's salary as punishment. This made Zhao Qingsu feel a little embarrassed. I say you guys should change the rules here. It's a different era now, and you're still sticking to those crappy rules. Deary was still dissatisfied and complained to the manager. The manager agreed with a smile on his face, then walked to the next table of guests and said something to them. Zhao Qingsu also looked over there a few times. It's not that there's anything special about the people over there, but I just feel that someone's gaze over there has some ill intentions. However, the location was too far away, so she couldn't see anything clearly and didn't dare to say anything. She just lowered her head to look at the tablet in her hand. How much should I buy? After completing the registration process, Zhao Qingsu was a little confused looking at the horse avatars on the screen. Let's buy the 1 million first. Su Yuan stretched out his hand and directly clicked on the option for 1 million. No, no, no. Zhao Qingsu quickly stopped his hand and said, what if you buy so much at once and lose? Although 1 million is not a lot of money nowadays, there is still a big difference between giving it away willingly and losing it. If it was output, Zhao Qingsu felt that she would be heartbroken. If you lose, it's mine, and if you win, it's yours. How about that? Su Yuan smiled slightly and had already entered the payment password. The tablet immediately showed that the payment was successful. Zhao Qingsu hit him lightly in annoyance. You are too unrestrained in spending money. I don't feel bad about spending money on my wife, no matter how much. As Su Yuan was speaking, a familiar reminder tone rang in his ears. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully giving his wife Zhao Qingsu $1 million, triggering a tenfold rebate of 10 million. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully triggering the lucky rebate and obtaining the master-level horsemanship. Anyway, every time you give money to Zhao Qingsu, you can trigger a tenfold rebate 100%. Su Yuan has reached the point where he is indifferent when hearing about rebates. After all, every rebate is in cash, which is too boring for him. Chapter 463, Who is he? But I didn't expect that this time I would trigger the lucky rebate. Ever since he had the 2 cubs, he had never triggered the lucky rebate. Sometimes he secretly wondered if the birth of the 2 cubs had used up all his luck, so he no longer had any good luck. But that's just a thought. With Zhao Qingsu and the 2 little ones, as well as such a loving family and enduring friendship, he feels that it doesn't matter if there is no lucky rebate. But the lucky rebate still surprised him very much. Mr. Su, which horse did you buy? Hearing that Zhao Qingsu had already bought it, Dylier, who was struggling with the dilemma, came over a little surprised. Wasn't she choosing too quickly? Even he, who comes here frequently, is still struggling with it. He even wanted to run backstage to see the condition of the horses before making a decision. You know, in addition to luck, horse racing also depends on vision. I haven't bought it yet, but my wife just bought horse number 9, and I plan to buy the same horse with my wife. Su Yuan answered quite calmly. Mrs. Su has good taste. Upon hearing that Zhao Qingsu actually bought horse number 9, Dylier slapped the horse's legs excitedly. This horse number 9 is a victorious general with an outstanding record and often wins the championship. The worst result is that he ran 3rd, but recently a few new horses were delivered. It is said that they are also descendants of the Horse King. The performance in the recent few races is quite good. I'm still struggling to decide which number to buy. Madame Su thinks that horse number 9 can win the championship. Listening to Dylier's long chatter, Zhao Qingsu looked at him in confusion for a while and finally said, I didn't think too much about it. I chose horse number 9 mainly because he is the only white horse, which looks better and more special. The corners of Dylier's mouth twitched, and he forced a smile. Haha, it still shows that, madam, you have good taste. I also think my wife has good taste. Dylier was complimenting, but Su Yuan sincerely felt that Zhao Qingsu's choice was right. This is our first time here, and we are not familiar with the horses. When they start running, it will be hard to tell which is which. The white one is very conspicuous, and it is obvious that it is the horse we bet on. Hubby, you are so thoughtful. I didn't even think of coming here just now. Really, haha. Seeing the two of them being affectionate, Dylier was speechless. What did he mean by not being able to tell which was which? Wasn't it written on the horse's body? After placing the bet, you just have to wait for the prize draw in half an hour. There was a boring TV series playing on the big screen, and there were snacks and drinks on the table. Pingin, Rui, and Saley, 3 little kids, were chasing and playing among the seats, and finally they were led by the staff to a special children's care area to play. Dylier also talked to Su Yuan about the gemstone. Mr. Su, I saw the sapphire you brought yesterday. It is so precious. You gave me this. Is there something you want to ask of me? Dylier was quite excited when he said this. It would be best if someone could ask him for help. He was just worrying about how to marry his daughter to him. As long as you take her daughter in, everything will be easy. Oh, that sapphire. After hearing Dylier talk about the sapphire, Zhao Qingsu asked, Do you like it? I like it. Just like it. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. We left in such a hurry when we came here to play that we didn't bring any gifts. We were embarrassed to go to your house for dinner empty-handed, so I chose a sapphire for you from my jewelry box. I didn't pay attention when I left, and I took away half a box of gems. Half box of gems? After all this trouble, it turned out that you just sent it to the wrong person. Zhao Qingsu's words made Dylier freeze in his tracks. Haha, so that's how it is. The gems are pretty nice. Think about him, the Prince of Dubai. He has been living a luxurious life for so long, but wherever he goes, people from that country call him a nouveau rich behind his back. What's the result? As a result, one day I was actually treated like a Versailles by someone else. Dearie was a little depressed. Ma'am, this is for you. Just when Dearie didn't know what to say for a moment, a waiter suddenly came over with a fresh, thorny rose in his hand. This variety of rose is special, exceptionally tender and juicy, but the thorns are soft and tender, unlike the thorns of ordinary roses which look prickly. For me, Zhao Qingsu pointed at herself in confusion. Why did you suddenly give me flowers? Oh, it's like this. Mr. Pu Jin over there asked me to give you this flower. Please accept it. The waiter explained with a smile, his eyes somewhat ambiguous. But Zhao Qingsu's face suddenly darkened. Take it back, I don't want it. Who hasn't seen a rose? And sending roses for no apparent reason. The meaning is very clear. The waiter didn't expect Zhao Qingsu to have such a bad temper. He looked a little embarrassed and said, This is a special gift from Mr. Pu Jin for you. Please accept it. If I say no, I mean no. Zhao Qingsu tilted her head. The waiter hesitated for a moment. How about I put it on the table for you? After saying that, he was about to put the roses on the table. Zhao Qingsu glanced in the direction of the so-called Mr. Pu Jin and happened to see a middle-aged man with a yellow beard smiling at her. She suddenly felt a little nauseous, reached out her hand, grabbed the rose and threw it directly to the ground, not forgetting to step on it. Then he sneered, Go back and tell Mr. Pu Jin to get out of here as soon as possible. She is no longer that kind of little girl and has the confidence to refuse, so of course she won't be polite. The waiter didn't expect Zhao Qingsu to have such a bad temper. He was stunned for a moment, then he reacted and wanted to say something, but when he saw Dilly next to him, he could only nod and turn away. As the waiter left, Zhao Qingsu clearly saw that Pu Jin's face became gloomy. Who is he? Su Yuan also noticed Pu Jin, turned around and asked Dylier beside him. Dylier obviously knew the man and looked down on him. He's an old pervert. He can't even walk when he sees a beautiful woman. Don't bother with him. Yeah. Su Yuan narrowed his eyes and said nothing. Instead, Zhao Qingsu pulled his hand, indicating that it was just a small matter and nothing serious. I thought the matter was over, but unexpectedly, 2 minutes later, Pu Jin stood up and walked towards this side again with 2 men and the waiter. He was holding a new rose in his hand. Chapter 464, A Romantic Ghost. Chapter 464. Miss, don't you like the roses I gave you just now? He said, handing over another one. How about this one? Is there something wrong with this person's brain? Wasn't the rejection just now obvious enough? Zhao Qingsu opened her mouth slightly. It wasn't because she was afraid, but she felt that this man had something wrong with his brain. Miss, please don't be shy, accept it. It's my honor to have a beautiful lady like you accept my rose. Seeing that Zhao Qingsu didn't say anything, the other person thought she was shy, so he lifted his hair again and said this. Oily and greasy. Zhao Qingsu felt a little nauseous. Su Yuan also felt nauseous. Without saying anything, he directly put his arm around Zhao Qingsu's shoulders, raised his head slightly and looked at Pu Jin, and said coldly, "She is my wife. Get out if you know what's best for you." "Wife, how is that possible?" After hearing what Su Yuan said, Pu Jin looked at Su Yuan as if he was a monster. Don't be ridiculous, who would bring their wife out with them? Seeing Su Yuan was a little confused, Dalier beside him grabbed Su Yuan's hand and explained in a low voice, "We usually don't take our wives out. The ones we can take out are basically lovers. If someone likes your lover and your lover is willing, you can go on a date." Su Yuan only knew that Dubai was a very wealthy place, but he didn't expect the customs here to be so backward. "Don't be surprised," Diriye narcissistically said. "I may be the only good man in Dubai. My dozen children are all born to my wife, and I don't have a lover. Your wife gave birth to more than a dozen children for you." "No, I have 5 wives." "Pu Jin, long time no see. I didn't expect you to be here too." Dalier looked over at Pu Jin and said, "This Mr. Su is my friend from China, and Mrs. Su is indeed his wife." "Really?" Pu Jin opened his mouth wide, looking at Su Yuan like a ghost, then threw the rose in his hand away and even apologized to Su Yuan. "I'm really sorry. I didn't know. If I offended you, I apologize." Since he had apologized, Su Yuan snorted coldly and didn't bother with him. Instead, he took the other 2 people and sat directly next to Dalier. "Prince, I thought you were a freak for doting on your daughter like this, but I didn't expect that your friends are also such freaks. It's better than someone like you who wanders around everywhere. I'm not afraid of getting sick." Diriye looked down on Pu Jin. Pu Jin curled his lips and said, "What do you mean by that? Can I not take protective measures? I want to be a night owl until I am 80 years old. Just you're still a playboy until you're 80. Why can't I tell you?" Pu Jin lowered his voice and whispered in Dalier's ear, "For the sake of maintenance, I haven't been running marathons recently. My health practitioner said that if I run marathons too much, it will easily cause irreversible damage to that thing." Having said that, it seems that Diriye hasn't seen Pu Jin horse racing for a long time. He felt a little regretful. Pu Jin was good in every way except that he was too lustful. Otherwise, he would have been a big rival of his. He shook his head, sighed, and ignored Pu Jin. Pu Jin was getting excited. "Mr. Su, are you here to bet on horses or to buy horse racing? I am responsible for everything that happened today. To show my sincerity, I will charge your expenses here today." "Need not." To be honest, although Pu Jin is a little lustful, at least he is a relatively decent person. After learning that Zhao Qingsu was Su Yuan's wife and not his lover, he really avoided looking at Zhao Qingsu again. So even though Su Yuan didn't like him, he didn't hate him that much either. But he was a very outgoing person. "Mr. Su, please don't be polite to me. I am a very loyal person. If I have offended you, I have offended you. Of course, I have to apologize to you. If you don't let me pay the bill for you today, then I will take you to a fun place in the evening." As he spoke, his smile became increasingly vulgar. Dalier coughed and said, "Don't blame me for looking down on you. This is all you can do. A real man, even if he dies under the peony flowers, he will still be romantic." What a romantic ghost. While they were chatting, a loud laughing voice came from the back. There was also some sarcasm in the voice. "But I heard that you haven't been doing well in that aspect recently. Are you too romantic?" "Yeki, why is it you again?" As soon as he heard the voice, Pu Jin's face suddenly became very ugly, and he turned his head away in annoyance. But when he turned around, his face changed drastically, because he saw that Yeki was holding a woman in his arms. The woman was wearing a pink long dress, her hair hanging on one side. She had a high nose bridge, big eyes, and was charming and attractive. She gently greeted Pu Jin. "Long time no see, Mr. Pu Jin. I was wondering why you never showed up every time I asked you out recently. Turns out you've been hanging out with this scumbag." Mr. Pu Jin's words are so hurtful. "I really don't have much free time recently. If I were free, I would definitely accompany you." As the woman spoke, she wiped her tears hypocritically. Yeki hugged her slender waist and comforted her. "Don't be too sad. Isn't it enough that I love you?" After saying that, he looked at Pu Jin provocatively. "You are stingy with the girl, and she doesn't want to be with you anymore, so why are you still angry? Is this what you mean by dying under the peony flower and becoming a ghost is also romantic? You are willing to die in the arms of the peony, but I don't even know if she is willing to let you die." "Ye Chaya." Pu Jin was already gritting his teeth, but he was helpless, and veins on his forehead popped out with anger. These 2 people always fight when they meet. They often fight overtly and covertly. Dalier looked like he was enjoying the show, but he obviously looked down on Yeki. This Yeki is not a good guy. He always uses despicable means. I didn't expect your place to be so exciting. I've only been here for one day, and I've seen so many bad things. There are really many strange flowers blooming, especially this year. Su Yuan asked with interest, what caused the conflict between the two of them? They have been at odds for a while. Originally, it was because they were fighting over a piece of land, but later they started fighting over everything. Besides, one of us belongs to my third brother, and the other belongs to my 12th brother. Dylier stopped talking suddenly at this point. In short, the matter between the two of them cannot be explained in a few words. Chapter 465. You came prepared. Chapter 465. You have so many brothers. Monogamy has been practiced in their country for many years. Even if there are many children, there are only 3 or 5. There is no throne to fight for. In Dubai, a man can have 4 legal wives, not to mention lovers. A wealthy man probably has at least a dozen children, and the royal family has even more. Where there are many people, there is struggle. This is an eternal truth. Su Yuan was quite interested. I have more than 20 older brothers, 8 of whom died, and now there are 12 left. I am the least useful among them. What this sentence means is that the position of king has nothing to do with him at all. So how is your relationship with your brothers? That's it. What? You just want a woman like me? What's the difference between a woman and an animal? As long as you satisfy her vanity and provide her with enough food, clothing, shelter, and transportation, she doesn't care who you are. When Su Yuan Dylier lowered his head and spoke. Over there, the conflict between Pu Jin and Yi Qi further escalated, and the tone of their conversation became more and more tense, and the two men seemed to be about to fight on the spot. You just won't admit that you lost to me. Yeki pushed the woman away and said, okay, how about we try something else? It's a pity that you can't compare to me in any way. Pu Jin sneered, women only know how to pick me up and then discard me. Oh, I picked up what you didn't want. How dare you say such a thing? Well, today I will make you admit defeat sincerely. After that, he sneered, how about we compete in horsemanship today? Equestrianism. When Pu Jin heard Yeki take the initiative to propose a horse riding competition, his eyes widened immediately, as if he had heard something incredible like the Arabian Nights. I say, have you been kicked in the head by a horse? You actually want to compete with me in horse riding. He is indeed a playboy who doesn't care about serious matters all day long. He only spends time playing with women, drinking, and having fun. But he is indeed very talented in equestrianism. Even Diriye admitted this. He was very famous in this horse farm before. Many people even heard that he was good at horse riding and came from afar to challenge him. It's not like he had not asked to compete in horse riding with Yeche before, but who knew that Yeche would not agree. At that time, he also scolded Yeki for being stubborn. But I didn't expect that today Yeki would come over and ask for a horse riding competition. If this isn't a fantasy, what is? Are you afraid to agree? Yeki sneered, if you don't dare to agree, forget it. I know you are a coward. I'm not a coward. I'm just afraid that you'll lose miserably. Pu Jin sneered. Besides, everyone in the entire riding field knows that I am good at horse riding. If I compete with you in horse riding, wouldn't that be bullying you? I won't do that kind of thing to bully others. Don't pretend to be a gentleman. To put it bluntly, you have only been playing with women recently and have neglected your practice. Your horsemanship has regressed drastically. You don't even dare to compete with me. My horsemanship has regressed badly. Pu Jin pointed at his nose, and suddenly he was full of pride. Let me tell you, my horsemanship is natural. Even if I haven't touched a horse for half a year or 10 years, I'm still better than you, a bastard. As long as you promise me that you will say I bullied you afterwards, I will compete with you. Then come on. Pu Jin. Seeing that the two were really about to compete, Dylier suddenly stood up and grabbed Pu Jin. Why are you so anxious? What's the point of competing in this kind of thing? Winning or losing is not important. I think you should stop being so childish. He said this out of kindness. Although he didn't like Pu Jin, he didn't hate him that much. But Yechai is just plain annoying. But Pu Jin didn't want to listen at all. He was the one who insisted on competing with me. He couldn't even get angry with me. Should I just swallow my anger? If I don't teach him a lesson today, I won't be able to swallow this anger in my heart. Pu Jin, listen to me. Pu Jin always insists on his own way and won't listen to others, which is why Dilly particularly dislikes him. My kindness is always taken as an insult. Prince Dylier, long time no see. If I remember correctly, the last time I saw you was at your 12th brother's birthday party. Haha, yes. Seeing that Diri was still trying to persuade Pu Jin, Yeki interrupted him and started chatting with him. Dilly didn't want to say anything more, and Pu Jin didn't want to listen to his advice. Dilly could only perfunctorily say, he, turned his head and made small talk with Su Yuan. Mr. Su, this is your first time betting on horses. I don't know how your luck will be. The horse racing will not start for another half an hour. It's boring for you to sit here anyway. Why don't you ask Prince Diri to be a witness and watch me compete with Mr. Pu Jin later? Yes, you and Mr. Su should go and have a look together, to avoid him cheating me when I win. Yet and Pujin had already said so much. It was not easy for Diri to refuse, so he reluctantly agreed to it. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu looked at each other and decided to join in the fun. Soon, the staff took the group to a place specifically for horse racing, where there was a track drawn. At the starting point of the track, a crimson horse could be seen standing there from a distance. The horse was as sturdy and graceful as Modi in Derriere, and it was obvious at first glance that it was not a thumping horse. So you came prepared. Seeing that Yeki had prepared the horses in advance, Pu Jin spoke his mind frankly. Dalier rolled his eyes and said, "You also know that he came prepared. This is probably a trap he has dug for him to fall into. But it doesn't matter if you come prepared. It's just a better horse. The reason why I'm so good is not because of my good horse." Pu Jin raised his head proudly, as if he had already won. Seeing that his horse had not been led over yet, he immediately began to urge the staff around him. "Why are you so slow? Have you led my horse over?" It's coming. It will be there in 2 minutes." After the staff member verified it with the intercom, he answered attentively and then subconsciously glanced at Yeki. Yechai didn't look away. 2 minutes later, Pu Jin's horse was signed over as expected, and his horse was also a black horse. Strong, lean, and sturdy, with well-developed hair. My horse may not be the king of horses, but it has been with me for many years and is not comparable to ordinary horses. Chapter 466, What's Wrong with This Horse? Chapter 466. After he said that, he hugged the horse's neck and kissed it, treating it like his own son. Yeki next to him slowly raised his lips into a smile. "It's not too late to say this after you win. Stop talking nonsense and let's get started." "Okay, let's get started." The two men quickly mounted their respective horses, and the referee over there was in place. Banged! With the sound of a gunshot, the two men squeezed their legs against the horses' bellies at the same time and galloped out directly from the starting point. It seems very interesting. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu just came to join in the fun, but seeing the two men riding horses, Zhao Qingsu was quite excited. "If you like, I will buy 2 horses and raise them in our farm. After you give birth, you can ride horses to lose weight. Isn't this a good idea?" Although Zhao Qingsu did not gain much weight after she became pregnant, she paid close attention to managing her figure and continued to lose weight routinely after giving birth. "I used swimming to lose weight before." Su Yuan felt that swimming every day was boring, so he thought it would be better to ride a horse and enjoy the scenery at the same time. "Isn't this a bit too extravagant? The horses here are too expensive, and it will take so long to transport them back. Why don't we just buy 2 horses in China? There are basically no horses specially designed for riding in China, and the training system is incomplete. The horses are not as obedient as those here. Is there so much to it?" "Of course. My husband is amazing." Dalier, who was standing next to Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu, touched his arm and silently shook off the goose bumps on it. "Everything is good about being with Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu, except that it gives me goosebumps." "What's going on?" However, just as Diri was struggling over whether to interrupt, his eyes suddenly fixed and his brows furrowed. On the track, Pu Jin, who was originally far ahead, suddenly acted strangely. His horse swayed from side to side and began to lose control. Obedient. He probably had never encountered such a situation before, and his first reaction was a bit confused. But fortunately, he had ridden horses for so many years that he still had some knowledge of how to deal with it. He pulled the reins hard, trying to control the horse to calm it down. But the horse, which usually obeyed his orders, seemed to have changed into a different horse today. It swayed wildly from side to side and even stopped where it was. "Is this all your horsemanship?" Yeki, who was running behind Pu Jin, caught up slowly and sneered. "I don't think he's that good." After saying this, he no longer lingered and just passed by. Pu Jin didn't have time to talk to him now. He just tried his best to comfort his horse. But the horse is getting more and more irritable. His body kept swinging back and forth, as if he was going to be thrown off the horse. "I have been riding a horse for so many years, and it is my beloved horse. If my beloved horse falls off its back during a competition, it would be a great shame. So even though there was a problem with his horse, Pu Jin had no intention of getting off, and he tried his best to stick to the horse's back. What happened to the horse? Zhao Qingsu, who was originally looking at the horse with great interest, didn't expect the horse to suddenly go crazy and was a little scared. Su Yuan patted her on the back and comforted her, then asked Dailier beside him, "What is going on? How could this happen? I don't know why this happened. Logically, the horse is his own and he takes good care of it. He treats it the same as my Morty. This kind of thing shouldn't have happened." Dailier frowned and observed for a few seconds, guessing, could it be sick? But that shouldn't be possible. Logically, these horses should have regular physical examinations every month. If they were sick, it would have been found out long ago. If they are not sick, then they ate the wrong food. But the food they eat is also fed by special people, and there are no plants around here that they can eat randomly. He guessed for a long time, but there was no leader. But he knew very well that if Deary continued to stay on the horse, it would be dangerous. "What are you still doing here? Hurry up and save them. Those who come to this horse farm to play are all big shots, and people's safety is definitely the top priority. When they are racing, there are many professionals guarding nearby to rescue people after such accidents happen. However, it is estimated that such an accident has not happened for a long time, so they were unable to react at all in the first place." After Deary said something, they rode their horses towards Pu Jin. But Pu Jin's horse was going crazy, and it was difficult for them to get close to him, so they could only let Pu Jin get off quickly. "Get lost." Seeing the rescuers coming, Pu Jin not only did not intend to get off the horse, but instead began to tell the rescuers to get out of the way. "All of you, get out of here. Don't touch my horse. If I lose, you'll have to wait. Mr. Pu Jin, the situation is very dangerous now. You'd better come down quickly. I told you to get out, so get out now. Stop talking nonsense here." After Pu Jin finished speaking, Ma suddenly leaned back and threw him out. He was thrown heavily into the sky and then fell down again. Even though there was grass below, falling from such a height made him see stars, and he was unable to move for a while. "Ah, Mr. Pu Jin." When he regained consciousness, he heard the staff's voices, and when he looked up, a huge black shadow loomed over him. "It's his horse." Seeing the black horse hoof with iron shoes stepping towards him, Pu Jin was completely terrified. He subconsciously raised his arms. "Go to hell." Not far away, Yeki, who was about to reach the key point, saw this scene and slowly curled the corners of his mouth. After being against him all day long, he finally had some peace and quiet. Anyway, this incident was just an accident and has nothing to do with him. "You are stupid." However, just as the horse's hoof was about to fall, a silver figure suddenly appeared, grabbed Pu Jin's leg and dragged him out from under the horse's hoof. After the silver figure rescued Pu Jin, he hugged the horse's neck again. There was a crisp sound, and then the mad horse fell to the ground with a bang. Pu Jin, who had survived the disaster, looked at Su Yuan, who was running towards him, then looked at the staff, who were relieved, and the silver-clad woman who suddenly appeared. He suddenly hugged the dead horse and cried, "My darling." Chapter 467, let's not talk about this. Chapter 467. Su Yuan, who had run over to check on Pu Jin's condition, was immediately furious after hearing his crying. It seemed that although there was nothing wrong with the person, there was definitely something wrong with his brain. "You are still feeling sorry for your horse at this time. Why don't you feel sorry for yourself a little? You are almost dead." This. Looking at the woman in silver standing next to Su Yuan, the staff were all confused. This woman seemed to have appeared out of thin air. They didn't even see clearly where these two people came from. And isn't this woman too scary? Not only did he rescue Pu Jin with one move, but he also killed a mad horse in the blink of an eye. What the hell is this monster? "Oh, don't make such a fuss. This is my guard." Su Yuan explained this calmly and pulled Pu Jin up from the ground. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, I just feel sorry for my darling." As he spoke, he started crying again. "After crying for a while, I guess I cried out the water in my brain, and my IQ regained its high ground. It's impossible for something to happen to his horse when it was fine. Someone must have done something wrong. You don't have to think about who did this to know who it is." Pu Jin stood up suddenly. "Mr. Su, this time it is really thanks to you that I saved my life. I will definitely thank you later, but before that I have to deal with other things first." After saying that, he strode towards Yechai. At this time, Yeki has reached the finish line. "What's going on? This kid is actually fine." Seeing that Pu Jin was fine, Yeki, who had just reached the finish line, was also very shocked. Just now, when he was halfway through the run, he clearly saw the horse's hooves already stepping towards Pu Jin. Even if he wasn't dead, he would have been trampled to the point of being paralyzed, right? How is it possible that nothing happened? And looking at the expression on his face, he has probably realized that he was the one who did it. Yeki subconsciously wanted to ride away on his horse, but he stopped abruptly again. He can leave at any time, but he can leave at this time. If he leaves at this time, doesn't it mean that he is guilty? Thinking of this, Yeki straightened his clothes, got off the horse as if nothing had happened, and looked at Pu Jin. You lose this time, don't deny it. I admit your uncle. I was almost killed by him, but he was still so nonchalant. Pu Jin was so angry that he grabbed his collar and said, You are such a sinister villain. I didn't expect you to use such despicable means to compete with me. Don't tell me that this matter has nothing to do with you. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word you say at all. Yeki looked nonchalant. Although it was me who asked you to compete, the horse was not prepared by me. You were riding your own horse. What does it have to do with me if something happened to your own horse? Shouldn't you go to the people who raised your horse? I heard that you haven't ridden a horse for a long time. When the staff saw that you didn't care about the horse at all, they didn't take good care of it. I don't know what they fed your horse. Anyway, I can swear that this matter has nothing to do with me. Looking at Yeki's confident look, Pu Jin was furious but couldn't say anything. He gritted his teeth and asked, Let me ask you if you dare to compete with me again. I'm tired. Yeki curled his lips and said, Besides, no matter what kind of accident you encountered in this competition, I should have already won, right? Since I have already won, why should I compete with you? I just ask if you dare. Pu Jin's spit was almost spraying on Yiqi's face. If you don't dare, you're a coward. Yeki stared at Pu Jin coldly for 3 seconds, then reached out his hand to wipe the spit off his face. Okay, if you insist on competing, we can have another competition tomorrow. But I'm tired and don't want to compete with you in person tomorrow. How about I bring someone here tomorrow and you bring someone else to compete with me? Okay. Pu Jin clenched his fists. I won't give you the chance to play these tricks tomorrow. Okay, then I'll bring some more people over to serve as referees tomorrow. What? I'm so angry. I didn't expect Yeki to be such a mean person. After Yechai left, several people returned to the horse racing track, but this time no one was in the mood to bet on horses. Dylier shook his head and looked at Pu Jin. I say, you are such a jerk. I could tell something was wrong with him before the two of you competed. I told you not to compete with him, but you didn't listen to me. You almost lost your life. And yet you still haven't learned your lesson and want to compete with others tomorrow. I think you will die in his hands sooner or later. How should I know he would do such a thing? Pu Jin clenched his fists and said, I have already sent my people to investigate. I want to see who in this stable drugged my horse. Although Yeki looks like a playboy like you, he is my 12th brother's man. Do you think he can be a simple person? Dylier sneered, I don't think your IQ is high enough to fight him. He has the support of the 12th prince, and I also have the support of the 3rd prince. How can I be afraid of him? Pu Jin spat. Diri shook his head and said nothing. The 3rd prince's mother's family was indeed more prominent, but the princess who gave birth to him was not favored. Instead, the 12th prince's mother was more favored. And the 12th prince has the 8th prince and the 14th prince to help him. No matter how you look at it, the 3rd prince can never beat the 12th prince. Let's not talk about this anymore. Anyway, I've already asked someone to investigate this matter. I think they'll find out by tomorrow. Pu Jin waved his hand and turned to look at Su Yuan. Mr. Su, thank you so much for this time. If it weren't for you, I would probably be dead now. I am a person who always repays kindness. How about this? I will cover all your recent expenses in Dubai. And I can't remember anything else. Anyway, I've made you my friend. From now on, your business is my business. If you need any help, just ask. I won't refuse you no matter what it is. Even if you ask me to send my wife to you, that's fine. Chapter 468. Too rich. I don't think my aesthetic taste is good. Chapter 468. After hearing Pu Jin's last words, Zhao Qingsu was full of questions. She grabbed Su Yuan's arm and said to Pu Jin, If I had known that you would repay kindness with enmity, I would not have let him save you. How have I ever turned a favor against my friends? Pu Jin was a little confused. He could even send his wife over, and it was considered as ungrateful. I'm jealous. Dylier reminded me with a smile. Pu Jin was confused for a while and suddenly said, Jealous? What's there to be jealous about? I can't explain it to you. Pu Jin is a man of his words. He is grateful for what he said. Not only did he not let Su Yuan spend a penny on the trip to the horse farm, he even drove Su Yuan back to the hotel himself when they returned. However, Su Yuan felt that he was a little too attentive. After Zhao Qingsu brought Ping and Ruyi back upstairs, he chatted with Pu Jin for a few words in the hotel lobby. Speak now. If you are too attentive to others for no reason, you are either a traitor or a thief. Just say what you want to say. I didn't expect Mr. Su to be so smart. I have two main things I want to tell you. This matter is about the match between me and Pu Jin tomorrow. I hope you can come over and watch it. He hesitated for a moment. As for the other thing, I'm really a little embarrassed to talk about it. It's hard to say, so don't say it. I'll go to watch your game tomorrow. Su Yuan stood up and prepared to go upstairs. But he was held back. Mr. Su, please don't leave so quickly. I do have something I want to talk to you about. It's not a big deal. To put it bluntly, I think the guard you have with you today is really amazing. Can you sell me one? Pu Jin stretched out a finger and shook it. I don't want more, just one, and the price is negotiable. No matter how much you say, I will never bargain. It turns out that she has taken a fancy to his guard. No wonder you speak so hesitantly. Su Yuan curled his lips and said, It's not that I can't sell this guard, but the price is a little bit high. Seeing Su Yuan said it could be sold, Pu Jin's eyes lit up and he asked anxiously, How much? Not much, just Dubai. Su Yuan's smile deepened. If you can buy the whole of Dubai for me, I might consider selling one to you. What? Okay, I know you must have missed me because I haven't been live recently. I'm helpless too. Haven't I been too busy recently? After returning to the hotel, Zhao Qingsu thought that she hadn't done a live broadcast for a long time, so she just started it. Zuer, you only know how to lie. How can you be busy when you have nothing to do at home all day long? Zuer, just tell me what you have been doing during this period. Zuer, you are really too much. You didn't do a live broadcast for a week. There were all kinds of complaints in the live broadcast room. Zhao Qingsu coughed and said, Please don't say such harsh words. I've been really busy recently. I've encountered some minor problems with childcare. Recently, Ruyi has fallen in love with a pet, and I'm wondering whether I should buy her one. Small pets? Of course. If children get along with small animals, they can cultivate their love and empathy. They can also be allowed to take care of small animals to cultivate their sense of responsibility. I think raising a small animal at home is a win-win situation. I also think it's nice to have an animal at home, like a dog, a cat, a parrot, or something like that. By the way, what kind of pet does Ruyi like? Don't you have Li Gu at home? Do you want to raise a cat? Looking at the barrage, Zhao Qingsu was silent for a few minutes. It's almost a cat. What do you mean by almost a cat? If it's a cat, it's a cat. If it's not a cat, it's not a cat. Could it be that you want to raise a hairless cat? Hairless cats have no hair, so besides being a little ugly, they are actually quite convenient to clean up. Hairless cats are not easy to take care of. Although you don't need to comb their hair, they will produce oil. A debate between hairy cats and hairless cats began in the barrage. Zhao Qingsu was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. 2 minutes later, she spoke quietly. What our Ruyi wants to raise is actually a lion. Lion? Almost like a cat. You call a lion almost like a cat. When Zhao Qingsu said that the pet Ruyi wanted to raise was a lion, the barrage of comments was almost obliterated by question marks. Zhao Qingsu was also helpless. This child has had a very special hobby since she was young. Didn't the kindergarten organize an activity a few days ago? We took the children to visit the zoo. After visiting the zoo, she came back and said she wanted to raise a little lion. What can I do? So, what did you do? What I mean is that you can't just give your child whatever they want. Over time, that can easily spoil them. Zhao Qingsu coughed, but the child's father said, Isn't it just a lion? Children's hobbies must be satisfied, so we came to Dubai. What the hell, Dubai? The Dubai where money is everywhere. Just go to Dubai and you're going there. This is too scary. It depends on the hotel. Yes, even in Dubai now, it's not like there's gold everywhere. There are still a lot of bad things, especially the customs here. They're so bad that a man can marry 4 wives. Zhao Qingsu complained about the local customs while showing them hotels upon request. The hotel we are staying in now is the Golden Ship Hotel, yes, the 7-star hotel. The hotel service is actually quite good. It also provides airport pickup and drop-off services. There are no communication barriers with the reception staff. The only drawback of this hotel is it's too yellow, not green enough. What does too yellow mean? Does it mean to provide special services? Zuer, you actually started driving. It's unfair, I didn't mean to drive. I meant it literally. If you don't believe me, I'll show you. Zhao Qingsu pointed the camera at the corridor. Sure enough, I saw a magnificent scene in the camera. Although there are various gorgeous decorations on the walls, floors, and ceilings, it feels a little too flashy. The decoration of this place is so lavish, I feel like the aesthetics are not that great. Someone commented across the screen. Zhao Qingsu nodded in agreement. Yes, these patterns on the wall and the ground are all made of gold. I don't think they look that good. It's better to just decorate normally. Chapter 469, this is more like. Chapter 469. Yellow gold. Although I thought it was a bit vulgar and exaggerated when I first saw it, after seeing it for a while, I found that its artistic attainments were rare in the world. I just want to ask, if I come to live here, can I dig a piece of gold and bring it back? Fuck, I thought Dubai was full of gold. I was just kidding. I was so naive. The ground, the ceiling, the walls are all gold. To be honest, there are too many luxurious hotels. But there are not many luxury hotels decorated with gold. So this is really an eye-opener. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. Okay, if you want to stay here, you can come. The service attitude is really good. If you really want to dig up some gold and take it back, it's not impossible. Zhu'er, you are not kidding, right? When everyone heard what Zhao Qingsu said, their eyes suddenly lit up. That was gold. If they stayed there for one night and dug up a piece, they would definitely not lose out. Of course, I'm not kidding. I'll go tell the waiter later that I think your murals are beautifully carved and I want to dig a piece off as a souvenir. They will definitely not stop me. Zhao Qingsu touched his chin and muttered to himself, but I don't know if they will cheat me when I pay the money. Zhu'er, you are such a jerk. Seeing the complaints in the barrage, Zhao Qingsu laughed so hard that she fell backwards, but she turned off the live broadcast soon. After all, she still has to coax the two little ones to sleep. After finally washing the two little ones, putting them in pajamas and coaxing them to bed, Zhao Qingsu returned to her master bedroom. Su Yuan was looking at his phone in the master bedroom. When he saw her coming in, he hugged her waist and asked, "Did my wife suffer any injustice today?" "No." Zhao Qingsu shook her head. "I just think what happened today is too absurd. It is really hard to imagine that in the 21st century, there are still places where the status of women is so low. It is even more horrible than the ancient system of wives and concubines. Even in ancient times, anyone with a little shame would not give his concubine to someone else. Today, Pu Jin actually wanted to give his wife to Su Yuan openly. Then you are not jealous at all." Su Yuan stroked his chin and said, "I think Pu Jin is unreliable, but he has good taste. Maybe his wife is very beautiful." "You mean you're unhappy because I don't let you take his wife?" Zhao Qingsu pouted. "You're so good, Su Yuan." No, why would I be unhappy about something like this? Honey, are you overthinking it?" Su originally wanted to tease Zhao Qingsu, but she took it too seriously, so he immediately explained. "No matter how beautiful other people's wives are, they can't compare to our Zhu'er by even a finger." "I don't believe it." "I swear." "Humph, you have the last word in this matter. You can fool me however you want. Who knows what you are thinking?" Thinking back to the beautiful girl that Pu Jin and that Yeki were fighting over today, Zhao Qingsu really started to feel jealous. "I don't know what I'm thinking." Su Yuan reached out and grabbed her delicate little hand, pressed her little hand on his chest, and then slowly moved it down. "Then you can feel it yourself, right? Don't mess around." Zhao Qingsu glared at him. "Does your heart grow under your belly?" What? Since they had agreed to go watch the Yechipu competition the next day, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu got up early in the morning and planned to have a casual breakfast in the hotel. But although it was casual, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu didn't expect that the breakfast here had such a rich variety. Although it is just a place for breakfast, the entire floor is filled with a variety of breakfasts. In addition to the local flavor of Dubai, there are also various breakfasts from other countries, all of which are made by chefs from other countries and are very authentic. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu also found a breakfast stall in Huiguo. There is everything you need, including steamed buns, soy milk, fried dough sticks, and tofu pudding. Zhao Qingsu didn't expect to see Chinese breakfast here. She was very surprised. She ordered a bowl of tofu pudding and steamed dumplings. She found that the tofu pudding sauce was very authentic, so she ate one more bowl. After breakfast, Su Yuan took Zhao Qingsu and the two kids for a walk by the swimming pool on the rooftop to digest the food. It was almost noon when he received calls from Pu Jin and Dailier. Both of them said they would send a car to pick them up. But Diri was a step too late. Mr. Pu Jin just said that he has sent a car over. Su Yuan politely rejected Diri. Dailier sighed and cursed on the other end of the phone. Pu Jin, that shameless old bastard, has now learned to snatch people from me. I curse him to lose everything today. Su Yuan smiled slightly and hung up the phone. "Let's go." Zhao Qingsu led the two little ones downstairs. "Before we first came here, we were thinking about buying a car and finding a driver to drive us. I didn't expect that after only 2 days here, someone would rush to be a cheap driver. Who makes me, your husband, so attractive? Go to hell. A few people went downstairs. They originally thought that Pu Jin had sent a car to pick them up, but they didn't expect that he came in person. Why do you bring your sister-in-law with you? As for Pu Jin, even if you say he is a bad person, he is not a bad person. But he really has a bad mouth. Seeing that Su Yuan brought Zhao Qingsu with him today, he was immediately shocked. He pulled Su Yuan aside and said earnestly, I know you love your wife, but you can't always take your wife around. Your wife should be kept at home. What's the point of taking her around? And your child, it's okay if it's a boy, but a girl. Why don't you go by yourself? I'm taking my wife somewhere else to play. Su Yuan couldn't bear to listen to Pu Jin's remarks anymore, so he interrupted him. No, I just said it casually. Why are you angry? Pu Jin immediately shut up and smiled apologetically. I have prepared lunch for you and sister-in-law. It is our special dish. You should give me some thanks, right? That's more like it. Hey, get in the car, get in the car. Pu Jin quickly coaxed Su Yuan and the other three into the RV at the back, while he himself got in the Lincoln at the front. Have you figured out who the person over there is? As soon as he got in the car, he no longer smiled at Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. He rubbed his brows tiredly and asked the assistant beside him. He had been competing openly and secretly with Yechai for so many years, and of course he didn't want to lose to him in something like equestrianism. Moreover, he was ambushed by Yechai yesterday and almost lost his life. He had to fight for his honor and defeat him today. Chapter 470, What Did I Say? Chapter 470. After he returned yesterday, he mobilized all his connections and harassed all the people in his circle who were good at horse riding as quickly as possible. Finally, he decided on the candidate. That was his previous equestrian coach, who had also won awards in international competitions. If we have to talk about equestrianism, his equestrian skills are definitely better than his. If he goes, he won't lose. But he was afraid that the other party would create another accident to trick him. He has been cheated so many times that he is a little afraid of it. But this time he had no idea who the other party was looking for, so he was unsure. After asking around for a long time, he still got no news, which gave him a headache. There is absolutely no news over there. My people have asked many people, but there is no news at all. If there is no chance, then there is no chance. We'll talk about it later. The news he received was not satisfactory, and Pu Jin closed his eyes in annoyance. His assistant couldn't help but speak up. Sir, you are so tired, you should have rested at home in the morning. Why did you come here in person to pick me up? He really couldn't understand it. Isn't it just to pick someone up? You can just send someone to pick him up. Why do you have to go in person? He's not an important person. You know nothing. It's a great honor for me to know someone like Mr. Su. Of course I can't neglect him. When Pu Jin heard what his assistant said, he immediately became excited. This startled the assistant. After a moment of silence, he asked in a low voice, I'm really sorry, but I really can't see anything special. That's because you didn't go to the racecourse with me yesterday. You wouldn't think so when you see the people around him. Pu Jin paused for a moment and said, Forget it. You won't understand even if I tell you. Just be more respectful to Mr. Su. Oh, and his wife. Pu Jin also gave a special reminder. Although the assistant felt that Pu Jin's behavior was outrageous, he still nodded. We soon arrived at the dining area. It is a famous local restaurant in Dubai. If you want to invite people to dine here, no matter who comes, you must make a reservation in advance. Pu Jin had booked this restaurant for 2 months, intending to invite the company's partners. But he didn't expect that he would use it to please Su Yuan in the blink of an eye. It can be seen that in his heart, Su Yuan's position is really very high. Mr. Su, this restaurant serves our local specialties, but the biggest feature here is that we can cook according to your taste. Here, people pay more attention to the sense of ceremony when eating. Before eating, all the main ingredients are brought up separately for inspection, which is considered a part of the meal. Su Yuan doesn't like eating like this. Firstly, because it is very troublesome and a waste of time. Secondly, if you take it to the kitchen to cook, how can I know whether you used the ingredients originally displayed? Anyway, he can't tell the difference after it's cooked. Is it made according to the special flavor? Faced with the dazzling array of precious ingredients, Su Yuan sat aside playing with his phone with a lack of interest. Zhao Qingsu became interested. The flavors here are relatively light. I want to eat spicy food today. Is that okay? Half spicy, half steamed. Spicy, okay. When Pu Jin heard that Zhao Qingsu wanted to eat spicy food, he was stunned for a moment and then immediately agreed. The chef was a little confused. He spent a long time explaining to the head chef what spicy food was. Although the head chef seemed to understand it, he finally made an okay gesture to indicate that it was okay. Come on, Sally, go play with them. Halfway through the meal, Deary came running over with Sally. Pu Jin was a little unwelcome. Prince, do you still need me for a meal? You actually came to my place to eat for free. In the past, even if I personally went to your house to invite you, you might not necessarily show your courtesy. You don't welcome me. Dahlia heard the tone of Pu Jin's words and sneered. If you don't welcome me, forget it. I'm too lazy to tell you what I know. I spent an entire night asking for information, and it's just a waste of my time. Inquired all night. Pu Jin was stunned for a moment, then immediately stepped forward and grabbed Dahlia's arm. What did you just say? You said you knew the news from Yeki's side. Then who did Yeki call on this time? How do I know who it is? Deary curled his lips. Pu Jin turned around and was about to push him out. But Deary's next words made him stop. I don't know who will be on stage this time, but I know that all the princes will come today and... And what? Aren't you going to chase me away? Dahlia raised the corner of his mouth and waved to Sai Li over there. Let's go, baby. If someone doesn't welcome us, then we won't be annoying here, lest others think that our family lacks this meal for him. I was wrong. Can I apologize to you? Pu Jin was a flexible person, so he quickly bowed to apologize and said with a smile, I was just joking with you. How can you take such words to heart? Don't you agree, Mr. Su? The next sentence he said was directed to Su Yuan. Su Yuan ignored him, but Dahlia came back. Okay, for Mr. Su's sake, I won't bother with you about what happened just now. Just consider it as me giving you Mr. Su a favor. After saying that, he sat down unceremoniously. Pu Jin poured him a glass of wine. Prince, please tell me. It's nothing, actually. Yesterday, I went to my ninth brother's place to drink tea and play cards. Didn't he just come back from the United States? As a result, several of my good brothers and sisters were there, saying that they were all going to watch you and Yeki compete in equestrianism today. Dahlia looked at Pu Jin with a half-smile. It seems that if you lose this time, it will be a huge disgrace to you. Why didn't you tell me this earlier? Pu Jin slapped his thigh and said, Can't you just call me? Why did you have to wait until now to tell me? The game will start in an hour. What difference will it make if we know it an hour earlier or an hour later? What did you say to me at my daughter's birthday party the last time? Do you still remember it? Dahlia narrowed his eyes and said nonchalantly, So I blocked you a long time ago. What did I say? What did he say? It seemed like he was saying that raising a daughter was a waste of money or something, and he even forgot about the more unpleasant things. But that was just a casual remark. He is such a grown-up, but he still holds a grudge seriously. Who is it? Pu Jin didn't have time to worry about so much. He glared at Dahlia, then turned to look at Su Yuan with an apologetic smile. Well, Mr. Su, we are good friends now. You can't just stand by and watch someone die at a critical moment. It turns out there is a reason for being so attentive. Su Yuan peeled a palm-sized blue dragon leisurely, stuffed the meat into his mouth, and said with a smile, I just came here to watch the fun. Chapter 471, What You Said Makes Sense. Chapter 471. When they entered the stable after dinner, Su Yuan and his companions saw from afar a large number of guards standing at the entrance of the stable. Pu Jin frowned. Although Dubai has a royal family, times have changed after all and people are more international. Generally speaking, except for grand banquets, no prince would openly book the entire place. But this time it was just a competition between him and Yechai. And not only did all these princes come, they even booked the entire place. This is not a good thing. Please show us your valid ID. When they entered the room, they checked Deary's ID before letting them in. Deary's expression was very calm along the way, but Pu Jin's face became more and more ugly. He had a bad feeling. Why is today not as lively as yesterday? And why aren't we taking the same kind of bus as yesterday? On the way, Ping and Rui also discovered the differences between today and yesterday. Rui turned around and asked Su Yuan. Su Yuan smiled and patted her head. The uncles are going to have a game today, so everyone went to watch the game. Of course, there aren't many people here. Then I want to watch the game too. Children can't watch this kind of game. You should go play with Ping and Ansari. Hearing Su Yuan's soothing and perfunctory tone, Rui was a little unhappy. After 2 seconds of silence, she asked, Why can't we watch this game? Is it not suitable for children? Su Yuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He ignored her and turned to ask Ping An, Where are you going to play later? Ping An was chatting with Sai Li. When he heard Su Yuan's question, he immediately looked at Sai Li and asked, "Should we go to the game or the amusement park?" "Of course I went to play. What's so interesting about the competition? My dad races every day." "Okay, let's go play." Ping and Sai Li decided where to go. Su Yuan looked at Rui with a smile. 2-1, you can go play with them too. Rui slapped Ping angrily. "You lackey." Anyway, they were just here to join in the fun, so Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu were not in a hurry. After arriving outside the stadium, they did not go in right away, but planned to send the three little ones to the amusement area first. Hearing that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu were going to send the children off, Pu Jin said with a bitter face, "Mr. Su, you are not planning to escape halfway, are you?" "I saved you once, and you're relying on me for that." Dalier shook his head and put his arm around his shoulders. "Let's go first. Mr. Su and the others will definitely come over later." "No, forget it." At this point, Dalier seemed to remember something and suddenly took his hand off his shoulder. "I almost forgot that you and my third brother have a close relationship. I can't go with you to avoid suspicion. Forget it. I'll go to the amusement area too. You go by yourself." After saying that, he took Su Yuan and left. Pu Jin went to the competition venue helplessly. "Are you so pure-hearted?" Looking at Diri holding Sally in his arms, Su Yuan became a little curious about him. Logically speaking, they were all princes, and as royals of Dubai, they must have some ideas about the throne. Doesn't he have any idea at all? Dalier was stunned for a moment before he realized what he was talking about. He shook his head helplessly. "What kind of competitiveness do I have? Why do you think I have time to raise lions and play with my daughter every day? It's because I have nothing to do. My brothers are busier than the others. They don't have time to race horses every day like me. But in fact, I don't want the throne. What I want most now is to marry my Sai Li off. You don't know, our country is not so friendly to women. Parents who love their children will plan for them in the long run." Although Dirier was born in Dubai, a patriarchal country, he truly loves Sally. "In our country, young girls are fine, but adult women are not allowed to move around freely, let alone go out casually. They can't even attend many important occasions, such as relatives' weddings or birthday parties." Dalier touched Sai Li's pretty little face. "She is so pretty and has learned everything since she was young. I don't want her to become one of those concubines when she grows up and be trapped in the royal family to give birth to children. She should live more freely." "I didn't expect you, Prince, to be so aware." Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu are also parents, so they understand Dalier's intentions. "But it's not a good idea for you to marry Sai Li to our son directly. Children's minds change too easily. Ping-an and her get along well now, but that's just a friendship between children. When Ping-an grows up and meets the girl he loves, he will be in a dilemma. But you can send Sai Li to school in China when she is older. We will take care of her then. After she graduates from college, she can choose to stay in our country to work or live. She can come back to see you from time to time." "Yes," Dalier suddenly realized. "That makes sense. I can send her to school. It's not possible in Dubai, and there's no need to get married. Can't I just go to China? We have many schools in our country, and there are also specialized international schools. The facilities and management there are very complete. Sai Li is so cute, there will be no problem if she goes there." "Okay, I'll start thinking about this once she's a little older." As they were talking, the group had already arrived at the amusement area. Originally, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu thought that the so-called play area was just a separated room with slides, seesaws, swings, and other toys that children like to play with. But I didn't expect there was something else going on. As you enter the door, there is a large lobby decorated with Pikachu. Inside is a tree-shaped snack cabinet filled with all kinds of snacks and drinks that children like. You can eat them directly and just record the amount when you are done. After the front hall, there are 3 doors. One leads to the outdoors, where there are many gardens, not only with many exotic flowers and plants, but also with various entertainment facilities and sports fields. In the middle is an indoor heated swimming pool with 24-hour manual supervision. On the other side are the indoor amusement facilities, which not only have a 3-story high slide, but also ocean balls that can almost drown people. In a nutshell, this is a paradise for children. Even Sally loves this place very much. "Dad, I want to go swimming. I'm a very good swimmer, just tell them." After entering the front hall, Sally hugged Diri's neck and started to act coquettishly. Only then did Su Yuan notice that there was a sign on the swimming pool in the middle saying that children under 10 years old are not allowed to enter without parental consent. It's quite thoughtful. Chapter 472, There are so many people today. Chapter 472. Okay, I understand. Dahlia smiled and touched her head. But if you go to the swimming pool, you can't go with Ping En and Ruyi. They are too young and can't swim. Although each child has a special caregiver in the swimming pool, there is still a fear of accidents if they are too young. Dahlia took it for granted that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu doted on their children so much that they would definitely not let them go. When it came to the fact that Ping and Ruyi couldn't go, Sally became conflicted. She put her hand on her chin and began to think, obviously very conflicted. Ping En, on the other hand, jumped up immediately and said, Dad, I want to go to the swimming pool too. Forehead. Su Yuan had a headache. He was not worried about Ping An's safety, but haven't you had enough fun training with the swimming team every day when you were in China? I want to go. Seeing Ping An's determined expression, Su Yuan agreed to this matter. Ping An immediately cheered and ran to Sai Li's side. Sai Li, my dad agreed to let me go to the swimming pool too. I'm a good swimmer. Come with me later, I'll protect you. Protect me. The pretty little Lolita blinked her big eyes and smiled like a crescent moon. Okay, then you have to protect me. Dad, you've seen it too. Okay, go watch the game and don't disturb us. Ruyi waved her hand in disdain, sat on a small stool in the front hall, picked up a fairy tale book and began to pretend to read it. Zhao Qingsu was a little surprised. Aren't you going to play with them? No, I don't want to be a light bulb. After looking at her little lowly for 3 seconds, Zhao Qingsu was a little confused. But, the book you have is in Arabic, can you understand it? Although English is the most commonly spoken language in Dubai, so they have no difficulty in communication after coming here. The official language of Dubai is Arabic, and most books are in Arabic. Can't read. Ruyi was puzzled. Can't I see the pictures? After arranging the 3 little guys, Dahlia, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu walked slowly towards the racecourse together. Dahlia was still laughing on the way. I guess Pu Jin is so nervous that he is about to pee his pants now. But the next second, he was bumped by Assistant Pu Jin, who came to look for someone. Dahlia, who hadn't been hit for a long time, jumped up and said, Don't you have eyes? I'm so sorry, Prince, I was just too anxious. After the assistant apologized, he grabbed Dahlia's arm and said, Our master is looking for you. We need your help with something. You can't just stand by and watch him die. What is it? Originally, Dahlia wanted to scold his assistant for being so rude, but when he saw that he was really anxious, he gave up and turned around to ask him what was going on. What else could it be? Didn't Mr. Yecha and Mr. Pu Jin have a competition yesterday? Mr. Pu Jin originally asked his equestrian coach to come over, but who knew? Who knew the coach had a car accident on the way? When Pu Jin's assistant mentioned the word car accident, he gritted his teeth. It was obvious that this car accident was not just a car accident. Your husband's equestrian coach was in a car accident. Hurry to the hospital. Why did you ask me to come? I'm not a doctor. Dahlia was about to leave. Well, I remembered that I still have some things to deal with at home. I have to go home now. I won't watch your husband's game. I wish your husband good luck. No, Prince, please don't stand by and watch him die. If you don't help, then our master will be the loser. Something happened to the equestrian coach, and Pu Jin originally wanted to go on the course by himself, but the other side did not allow it, saying that he was breaking the rules. There was no choice but to come and find Diri. After all, his horsemanship is the best here. Diri was very troubled and wanted to leave quickly, not wanting to get involved in this mess, but his assistant pulled his sleeve and refused to let go. He was speechless. It's not that I don't want to help, it's just that I can't help. You know my brothers are sitting in there. If I dare to go in and disturb them, they will definitely peel my skin off when this is over. The reason why he can live so freely is because he doesn't help either side. It's okay for him to come and watch the fun this time, but if he goes on stage, he will be directly classified as the third prince's man. By then, he will definitely be in trouble. He doesn't want to. Then, Prince, please go and take a look. Seeing that he couldn't convince Diri at all, the assistant rolled his eyes and decided to trick the man in first. Diri still didn't want to. Let's go check out the situation first. It was Su Yuan over there who spoke first. Dahlia had a mysterious respect for Su Yuan, so after hearing him speak, he agreed. A group of people quickly came to the competition venue. Wow, there are so many people today. Compared to the few people who came yesterday, the stadium became even more lively today after it was reserved. More than a dozen princes in white robes and white turbans really came. What's left is a large group of service staff. There were basically no women. Pu Jin, you have such bad luck. How could a good equestrian coach get into a car accident? It's such a pity. I heard that your equestrian coach has won 3 consecutive international championships. If he had played, you would have won this time. Who made you so unlucky? Yeki's face was full of gloating. Pu Jin clenched his fists and asked, "Don't you know why my equestrian coach got into a car accident? He was in your car and you hired him. What does his car accident have to do with me? From what you said, it sounds like I hired someone to hit him. I swear to God, I don't know the driver at all." You... Looking at Yeki's shameless face, Pu Jin's face turned pale and he looked like he wanted to curse. "I know you have always had a problem with me, but you can't put all the blame on me," Yeki said, glanced at the watch on his wrist and narrowed his eyes. "The game will start in half an hour. Have you found your man? If you haven't found someone to compete for you, then I can only assume that you have admitted defeat." "What's the hurry? Am I not looking for someone?" Pu Jin snorted and saw Su Yuan and his group coming in from the corner of his eye. His eyes suddenly lit up. "Prince Diri, Mr. Su, you are here." Chapter 473, Third Brother, Don't Go Too Far. Chapter 473. Yeah, coming over." Dylier saw that all his brothers were looking at him, and his scalp felt tingling. He really didn't want to pay any attention to Pu Jin, so he just answered him casually, and then went around to greet his brothers. "Why is there a woman here, and she's dressed like this?" Originally, there was nothing wrong with Pu Jin greeting a group of people, but one of the men who looked to be in his 40s opened his mouth and looked at Zhao Qingsu with dissatisfaction. There was a bit of disgust in his eyes. Everyone's eyes immediately fell on Zhao Qingsu. Although they didn't say anything, the look in their eyes showed that they agreed with what the man had just said. Dylier was stunned for a moment and quickly explained, "These are my friends. They are Chinese and their customs are different from ours, over there. You shouldn't bring women to this place." The man interrupted Pu Jin's words immediately, saying in a cold and serious tone, "Hurry up and let her leave." Although they had only known each other for a few days, Dilly knew how much Su Yuan loved Zhao Qingsu. Dilly certainly didn't dare to let Su Yuan take Zhao Qingsu away. But the other party was his 12th brother, and it would definitely not be okay to openly refute him. Diriye is really in a dilemma. Find 2 security guards to get that woman out. But Yeki just wanted to watch the fun and didn't mind making trouble. He even went there himself to call the security guard. "I wonder who dares to touch my wife." However, Su Yuan quickly stood up. He hugged Zhao Qingsu into his arms and looked directly at the 12th prince who had just spoken. "My wife is wherever she likes to be. What does it have to do with you? How dare you be so disrespectful to our 12th prince?" He was just a Chinese, but he spoke in such an arrogant tone. Except for Pu Jin and Diri, most people present were shocked. "Don't you want to live? 12 brother, Mr. Su and Mrs. Su are really my friends." Seeing the security guard coming over, Dylier also became anxious. "Forget it. If you don't like it, I'll take them away. You're not doing your job all day long, just making friends with these bad guys." The 12th prince reprimanded Dylier and waved his hand in disdain. "Take the person away from me." Although he looked down on his younger brother, he had to give him face in such a crowded place. So he mercifully let Diri take the man away, and did not pursue the previous incident in the city. Dylier finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank you, Brother 12. After saying this, without even looking at Pu Jin beside him, he pulled Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu and was about to leave. "Mr. Su, this place is a bit too messy. How about I take you somewhere else to play? We have quite a lot of attractions here, many of which you haven't been to." Originally, Diri thought the matter had been resolved, but what he didn't expect was that Su Yuan firmly pushed his hand away. "No, I'm taking my wife to watch the game today. I'm not going anywhere." He won't just let it go if someone dares to despise his wife. The smile on Dylier's face froze for a moment. "Mr. Su, but this." When the people around heard this, their faces all changed. "I have seen tactless people, but I have never seen such a tactless person. Or are you not afraid of death?" "Mr. Pu Jin." Just when everyone was still watching the 12th prince's attitude, Su Yuan spoke first, but the person he looked at was Pu Jin. Pu Jin was stunned for a moment. Didn't your equestrian coach have a car accident? You probably haven't found him yet. I happen to be free right now, so why don't I do you a favor?" What Su Yuan meant by this was that he wanted to stand on Pu Jin's side and help him in the competition. But will he? Although the person the other party found was not as good as the equestrian coach that Pu Jin found, he had also participated in international equestrian competitions, and his equestrian skills were not something that ordinary people could compare with. "Find me a horse." Su Yuan didn't give Pu Jin any chance to react. He found a seat for Zhao Qingsu, helped her sit down, and then gave Pu Jin an instruction. Pu Jin nodded subconsciously. He originally wanted to ride his own horse, but when he thought about the fact that his horse had been drugged yesterday, he felt a headache and quickly asked someone to find a good horse. Why not just use my Morty? Seeing that Su Yuan was about to go on stage, Dylier volunteered. Although Modi looks fierce, he has a good personality and does not reject strangers. Okay, then Morty. With just a few words, the candidates for the competition were decided. That woman's... The 12th prince didn't expect that Su Yuan would hook up with Pu Jin, and his face became even uglier. He opened his mouth and was about to continue to cause trouble for Su Yuan. But this time he was stopped by the 3rd prince who had been silent. He is Chinese, not a local. If he wants to bring women, he can bring women. What does it have to do with you? Anyway, we are here to watch the game today. Don't just focus on women. Aren't the 3 wives at home enough? 3rd brother, what do you mean by this? Whatever you think it means. 3rd brother, don't go too far. Contest. After the 3rd prince and the 12th prince had a quarrel, the time for the competition was up, and the two stopped quarreling. Hubby, can you do this? To be honest, although Su Yuan seemed to know everything and was omnipotent, Zhao Qingsu had never seen her race horse. So there are some concerns. You don't trust your husband at all. Su Yuan smoothed her hair and said, just wait for me to come back. Then be careful. Zhao Qingsu thought for a moment and said, it doesn't matter if we lose. At worst, we can just leave here. We can't lose this. Pu Jin was listening to the conversation between the two people and was terrified. He had never seen Su Yuan race horses and had no idea what his level was. If it wasn't for the fact that there was no reliable person to go, he wouldn't have agreed to let Su Yuan go. I went. After greeting Zhao Qingsu, Su Yuan ignored Pu Jin's muttering and turned around to change his clothes. Dylier patted his shoulder and said, relax, the situation may not be the same this time. Even if we lose, it won't be a big problem. What's different? You'll understand after the game is over. Dylier smiled mysteriously, with a hint of meaning in his smile. I guess your enemy Yeki is also feeling bad right now. Chapter 474 feels good. Chapter 474. Yeki, who is that Chinese guy? Where did he come from? How come I didn't know about this person? Originally, Pu Jin was bound to lose this time, but unexpectedly, Cheng Yaojin showed up halfway through, which made Yeki very annoyed. The most frightening thing about this matter is that there will be variables. Facing the questioning of the 12th prince, he could only smile and said, I don't know. I only know that he is from China. Judging from his appearance, he should be a big shot in China. However, my attention has been on Pu Jin these 2 days, and I have no time to check his background. How dare you say that? This, 12th prince, it's okay. We may not necessarily lose. Yeki could only reluctantly comfort him. His horsemanship is probably not that good, so we don't have to worry. Anyway, if you lose this time, it's up to you. Yes. Looking at the 12th prince returning to his seat, Yeki wiped the sweat from his forehead helplessly. In fact, he also regretted provoking this game yesterday. Originally, it was just to annoy Pu Jin and make trouble for him. Winning or losing didn't matter. He wouldn't lose anything anyway. But who knew that this matter was known to the 12th prince and the 3rd prince? The two even made a bet about this matter. The stakes are not big, but not small either. It's a diplomat's position. Whoever wins will send someone to take this position. The royal family has attached more and more importance to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs over the years. The old group of diplomats are about to retire. Both sides are eyeing this position and have been fighting secretly for a long time. This is the first time that the matter has been brought to the table, so neither side wants to lose. This is also the reason why he spent a lot of effort to find someone to hit the equestrian coach. He thought this matter was foolproof, but he didn't expect that Su Yuan would appear halfway. It would be best if Su Yuan was a half-baked one. If you win, I'll give you another $1 million. In order to ensure that everything went smoothly, Yechai specially found the people who were going to play before the game started. He is an elite member of the equestrian club whom he hired at a high price, and is also an expert in equestrianism. Add to that cash incentives, and it should be foolproof. After all, people die for money and birds die for food. An additional $1 million was added, so there was no fear that the other party would not fight hard. Good. The other party showed a confident look and climbed onto the horse's back. Don't worry, Mr. Yeki, you can trust me completely. In other words, you can always believe in the power of money. With so much money, he could work hard for it. When he thought of this, he tilted his head slightly and looked proudly at his opponent. This time, he was indeed a good-looking Chinese. But equestrianism, although it does not involve physical contact, is also a form of fighting on horseback. What can a person who lives a life of luxury like this achieve? It feels good. Riding on Morty's back, Su Yuan's vision suddenly broadened a lot. He bent down and touched the horse's head. Morty sneezed smoothly, and his breath was warm and comfortable. It seems that he still likes you very much. Originally, Dilly didn't want to get involved in this matter and wanted to avoid suspicion. But when he thought that he had already lent his horse to Su Yuan, he couldn't get out of this matter, so he simply came over and helped Su Yuan get on the horse. Seeing Modi rubbing Su Yuan's hand, he felt a little sad. However, he quickly put this emotion behind him. He moved closer to Su Yuan and whispered in his ear, "Mr. Su, please be careful. Although I checked everything and found nothing wrong, but Yeki is a shady guy. I'm afraid there might be something wrong with the person he brought. So don't get too close to that person. Try to keep your distance." "Okay, got it." Su Yuan saw Dillier's face full of worry, and felt touched when he thought that he had only known him for a few days, but he was so nice to him. But after just a few seconds of being touched, he suddenly felt upset. "Bring my Morty back safely, don't let him get hurt." Dillier said with pain, "One of the criteria for the Horse King election is that the fur must be intact. If he is injured, he will not be eligible for the next Horse King election." Su Yuan agreed reluctantly. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, it was time for the competition. The staff blew the preparatory whistle and raised their guns. Bang! With the sound of a gunshot, the two people at the starting line rode out on their horses almost at the same time. "Prince Diri, your horse is a fine one." Seeing that Su Yuan did not lose at the starting line, Pu Jin finally breathed a sigh of relief. He couldn't help but turn his head and talk to Diri, and praised Modi by the way. Dillier nodded proudly. "Of course, my Morty is much better than your Marco. I was just complimenting you, but you took it seriously. If you think Morty is not good enough, I can have someone take Morty down right now." "No, no, no." While the two were talking, Su Yuan had already run half a circle, but the horses on both sides were good horses, and both of them were experts in equestrianism. So they were basically running neck and neck, and it was hard to tell who was better. Pu Jin was very satisfied with the result, but the 12th prince frowned and said, "This guy you brought here is not good enough. He is just a Chinese who came from an unknown place, but you can't do anything to him." "It's all right, Prince, just wait and see. The man I found will definitely not lose." Yeki patted his chest to assure. "I hope so." The 12th prince's frown did not relax. "No matter what, we must not lose." "Yes." Yeki nodded, and his eyes fell on the contestant he invited. He leaned over the horse's back to reduce resistance. He held the horse's reins with one hand and reached into his pocket with the other hand when no one was paying attention and took out something. Then he pulled the reins and deliberately approached Su Yuan. Just when the two were almost touching, he quickly took action. "That's a sharp Swiss Army knife." The white knife flashed and was about to pierce Morty's neck. As long as he stabs Morty when no one is paying attention, Morty will be frightened and will definitely not concentrate on listening. Su Yuan's control over Morty will be greatly reduced, and then it will be easy for him to win, although such things are not allowed to happen in regular competitions. If caught, the competition results will be directly canceled, and in serious cases, the person will be warned by a lawyer's letter and banned. Of course, most people will not do this. However, for this kind of informal competition, we won't care so much. "Go away." The man gave a cruel smile and glared at Su Yuan. Chapter 475, Everyone's Time is Precious. Chapter 475. But his expression soon froze. It was not because of anything else, but because his hand was grabbed by another hand. Before he could react, he felt a sharp pain in his wrist. By the time he reacted, his wrist had already turned the Swiss Army knife and stabbed it into his horse's neck. His horse neighed in pain, raised its front hooves and stopped where it was. And his saber also fell to the ground. "Your hobby is too weird." Su Yuan's current reaction speed is just short of being able to catch a bullet with his bare hands. Isn't it child's play to handle a small action? After he finished solving the problem, he turned around and laughed. "Why do you stab your own horse? Isn't the horse gone?" "You." The other party was furious, but there was nothing he could do. He could only turn around and try his best to control his horse. Although the horse was injured, it was only a minor injury, and there was no problem for it to continue running. "What's going on? What happened to him?" There were hundreds of pairs of eyes watching in the stadium, so of course, everyone saw the little movements between the two. The most excited one was the 12th prince. He stood up suddenly, pointed at Pu Jin and cursed, "The person you found cheated, it's great." Pujin was so confused after being scolded. No, how could my people cheat? Although he and Su Yuan were not very familiar with each other, he knew in his heart that Su Yuan was not the kind of person who would cheat. The saber has already fallen out, and you still won't admit it. The 12th prince sneered. Besides, my men are injured. Can he stab his own horse? Who knows? The person who said this was unexpectedly Dirie. He stood up and squinted his eyes. I saw it clearly just now. It was obviously your people who wanted to take action, but they were killed by Mr. Su. If I were you, Brother 12, I wouldn't dare to say anything. Originally, he didn't want to pursue the matter, but the horse the other party wants to hurt is his Morty. He was very careful when riding his Morty, for fear of pulling out a single hair and making it look ugly. But the other party actually wanted to cut his Morty. How could he bear this? 19th brother, it seems like you have nothing to do here. Looking at his brother who has always been inconspicuous and only knows how to eat, drink, and have fun, the 12th prince narrowed his eyes and asked, Or are you the third brother's man now? What do you mean by that? What do you mean 19th brother is mine? Aren't we all brothers? The third prince, who had been silent all this time, suddenly smiled and spoke. Of course they are brothers, but what kind of brothers they are is something worth discussing. The 12th prince was not convinced. A good game has been turned into such a mess. Let's have a rematch tomorrow. This is preparation for cheating. Pujin's eyes widened immediately. Why do you want a rematch? It was clearly your team that broke the rules, and now you're asking for a rematch. Isn't that too much? Dylier has always known that his 12th brother is shameless and likes to play tricks, so he didn't think his reaction was strange. He just interrupted and said, Your game is terrible, useless horse. Anyway, my Morty will not play tomorrow. If he had known that the matter was so complicated, he should not have lent out his horse in a fit of rage. He regretted it so much that his intestines turned green. What he wanted to do most now was to check carefully whether his horse was intact after the game. Just now, Su Yuan was fighting with the opponent. Even if he didn't hurt Morty, he accidentally knocked off a few of Morty's hair, which would be enough to make him feel sad for 10 days or half a month. If we are going to have a competition, then of course it has to be fair and just. Now that someone has cheated, of course a rematch is needed. Although Yeki watched his men draw their sabers and stab Su Yuan's horse. No matter how stupid his men were, they were still his own people. In order to win this time, he had no choice but to lie with his eyes open. Anyway, no one saw it very clearly during the snatch just now, and there is a lot of room for manipulation. As long as the majority of people are in favor of a rematch, then we can do it again. This time he must find a reliable candidate to replace the idiot in his hands. He can't even do such a small thing. 12th Prince Yeki, don't be so shameless. It would be fine if you asked someone to knock out my original contestant, but now that your people's tricks have failed, you actually want a rematch. Pujin was so angry. What if your people succeed in their trick? Will you still ask for a rematch? Mr. Pujin, please don't get so emotional. No matter which side the problem is, since we have said that we want to play the game well, then we must be fair. But Pujin was so angry that he didn't care about his own image. The 12th prince was too lazy to pay attention to him. What do you think we should do about this matter? Mr. Yeej is right. Since it is a competition, it must be fair and just. This time there was a problem, and we think we should have a rematch. Yes, I agree with Hachioji. Rematch. The 12th prince likes nothing more than winning people's hearts, and most of the princes are on his side. Naturally, everyone spoke up for him. Seeing that everyone had expressed their positions, the 12th prince felt that a rematch was inevitable, and asked the 3rd prince with a smile, "Third brother, it seems that everyone agrees to a rematch, but I don't know what your opinion is. I think it's better for the minority to obey the majority so that everyone won't have any opinions. Everyone's time is precious. It's just a small competition. Why waste so much time? In competitions, whichever side cheats will be disqualified. Isn't it enough to just judge who cheated?" The 3rd prince smiled and looked at everyone. "I know that everyone's eyesight is not very good, and you must not have seen it clearly just now, but you should have seen the saber on the ground, right? As long as someone has touched the saber, fingerprints will definitely be left. Pick up the saber and verify the fingerprints to know who the saber belongs to, and the cheater will be revealed. 12th brother, my method is pretty good, right? 3rd brother's method is certainly good. However, everyone's opinion is. Pujin, go with Yi Chi and pick up the saber and see whose fingerprints are on it. I hate cheating the most. If it's one of ours, then we lose this match." The 3rd prince glanced at the 12 princes with a half smile. "If my people cheated and failed, I would not have the face to rematch them." Chapter 476. What's so difficult about this? It's just skiing. Chapter 476. The third prince's words blocked the retreat route. Even if the 12th prince still wanted to request a rematch, he didn't have the face to do so and could only agree to his plan. Pu Jin then glanced at Yi Qi and said, "Let's go check the fingerprints now." Yeki looked grim, but he still left reluctantly with Pu Jin. The fingerprint results came out very quickly, and of course it was not Su Yuan's, so the winner was decided. Your Morty is indeed a fine horse. Who cares about Su Yuan in this kind of competition? They only care about the interests behind it. After Su Yuan ran to the key point, the only people who greeted him were Dailier and Zhao Qingsu. Dailier touched his Morty lovingly, hugged his horse's neck and kissed and rubbed it. "Morty, come here, let me see if you have lost any hair." "Fortunately, no." "Damn it, if you have any damage, I will not be happy this year." Seeing how Dailier treated Modi, Zhao Qingsu shook her head helplessly and looked at Su Yuan. "Hubby, are you okay? I was so worried." "What could possibly happen to your husband? Look, isn't he intact?" Su Yuan turned around in a circle to show that he was fine, and then he expressed his feelings. "Speaking of which, riding a horse is really fun. I have an idea. Our villa is very big anyway. Why don't we raise 2 horses in the yard of the villa? When we stroll in the yard, we can ride horses. Isn't it nice?" "I don't want to." Zhao Qingsu thought for a moment and shook her head decisively. "What's the point of raising horses? They're dirty and smelly. I want to raise alpacas." "Alpaca, that's fine, let's raise 2, my husband agrees." "My husband is the best tilde. Zhao Qingsu hugged Su Yuan's neck and kissed him. Dailier got goosebumps watching from the side. It's too much to do such intimate actions in public if someone sees. Zhao Qingsu was thin-skinned, and her face immediately turned red when she heard this. Su Yuan, on the other hand, thought it was natural. "Let people see it, it's fine. After all, this is my wife." "Mr. Su, you are really my benefactor." As they were talking, Pu Jin came over with tears in his eyes. Su Yuan saved him yesterday, and today Su Yuan saved him again. He now wished he could worship Su Yuan and burn incense to him. "I don't deserve your honor. You are just a troublemaker." There are a lot of princesses and princes in the Dubai royal family. He had seen photos of those princesses and princes on the internet before. To be honest, they are really beautiful. But I didn't expect the competition between the princes to be so fierce. Who can stand the palace fighting drama played out every day? He decided to stay away from trouble. "Mr. Su, where are you going? Do you want to eat?" When Pu Jin saw Su Yuan was about to leave, he immediately followed him. "Didn't you eat it just an hour ago?" Su Yuan glanced at him and said, "No, I'm going to take my wife out to play." "Play? Then I know a lot of fun places." "Mr. Pu Jin, I think you should be very busy now. Since you won the competition, the position in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is yours. Don't you have some very capable nephews? If you go too late and the third prince gives the position to someone else, you can just cry." After crying for a while holding his own Morty, Dailier teased Pu Jin coldly, then approached Su Yuan and said with an apologetic smile, "Mr. Su, how about I take you to a fun place?" "A fun place? Of course, it's definitely fun." After picking up the 3 little ones, Dailier took Su Yuan and the others and set off. About half an hour later, they arrived at the door of a ski resort. Su Yuan was silent for a moment. "Is this the fun place you mentioned? Isn't skiing fun?" Dailier looked at Su Yuan in confusion. "Don't you like skiing? This is the largest ski resort in the world." "I like it, but my wife." Su originally wanted to say that Zhao Qingsu was pregnant and couldn't go skiing, but Zhao Qingsu interrupted her. "Hubby, since we're here, let's go and take a look. We're here to have fun anyway, so it doesn't matter how we play." "What about our children?" "Your children are not young anymore. They are at the age when they have the strongest learning ability. They just need to exercise more so that they can grow up well in the future." Dailier proudly touched his little princess and said, "I have been teaching my child to ski since she was 4 years old. Now her skiing skills are better than mine." "You're already teaching a child to ski when she's so young." "Yes, I think both of your children are very smart and they will definitely learn it right away. It depends on talent. Of course, I think your children are definitely talented. If they really can't learn it, then forget it and don't force it." Under Diri's persuasion, Su Yuan reluctantly took a few people into the ski resort. "I changed my clothes first, and after getting acclimated, I walked in. It is worthy of being the largest ski resort in the world. Although we don't know its exact area, it is definitely no less than 5,000 square meters. Most of the people in the ski resort are adults, and there are only a handful of children, especially those as young as Ping and Rui. There's so much snow here, it's so fun. Ping and Rui hasn't seen snow for a long time. Although it snowed last winter, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu took him to a small island for vacation, so he hasn't seen heavy snow. When they went back, the snow had melted, so the two little ones were very happy to see so much snow. They rushed over and scooped up some with their little hands to play with it. Sally came over with her snowboard, and seeing the two having so much fun playing in the snow, she joined them. The three of them played and had a snowball fight for a while. After the snowball fight, Sally picked up her snowboard and asked, "Do you know how to ski? Let's go skiing together." "We won't. If you don't know how, I'll teach you. It's very simple and not difficult at all." "Really?" Ruyi was still quite interested, so she ran over and picked up a pink snowboard. "Then teach me. What's so difficult about this? It's just skiing, right?" Watching Siley sliding on the snow, Ping'an didn't know why he wanted to show off, so he pretended to step onto the snowboard very skillfully. "Look, I can ski." Ah. He fell to the ground before he could finish his words. "I didn't perform well this time. Anyway, there was thick snow on the ground and he was wearing thick clothes, so it didn't hurt much from the fall." Ping'an quickly stood up and tried again. Chapter 477. Okay, I'll start. Chapter 477. Ping'an, you are so cute. Cuter than all the boys in my kindergarten. Cuter than my brothers and sisters and even my dad. Sally was so amused by Ping'an's appearance that she burst out laughing and gave him a lot of compliments. Ping'an feels embarrassed to receive so much praise. He stood there just staring at Sally and smiling. Sally laughed for a while and said, "Okay, this should be your first time skiing. Skiing is really not that difficult. First of all, you have to keep your feet shoulder width apart. The most important thing is to relax your legs. Once you find the balance point, you can easily stand on the skis. As for skiing, you need to lift both legs at once and drop them down while rubbing against the snow, and then you can move forward. When moving, you need to lean forward slightly to find the center of the force point. The force on the foot is at the heel. Although Sally is young, she is very knowledgeable when it comes to skiing. After the two little guys listened to her carefully, they stood on the skis. Ruyi quickly mastered the essentials of skiing, and in just half an hour she was able to walk slowly on the snow. But Ping'an couldn't keep his balance and fell 4 or 5 times. Dylier had already skied into the crowd on his skis, and no one knew where he had gone. Instead, Su Yuan was holding Zhao Qingsu's arm and looking at the three little guys. Seeing Ping'an fall so badly, Zhao Qingsu said helplessly, "If you can't learn it, forget it. Don't force yourself. You can learn it, you can learn it." Ping'an quickly defended himself. "Sai Li taught so well, Ruyi has learned it. I'm sure I can learn it too." "Okay, then don't be too anxious and take your time." "Which country are you from? The child is so cute, tilde tilde." There were quite a few ski enthusiasts in the ski resort, and when they were resting, they also noticed the three little guys who were brought over. Seeing that the three little guys were more handsome than each other, he came over to talk to them. Sally and the others did know her. After all, Dubai is such a small place. They would definitely recognize her as a royal princess who is so beautiful. But to Ping'an and Ruyi's family of 4, it was completely unfamiliar. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. "We are from China." "Chinese? This is the first time I've seen you. I didn't expect you to be so different from the Chinese people I imagined." When the other party heard that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu's family of 4 were Chinese, he was surprised. "In my impression, Chinese people all have small eyes and freckles on their faces, but you don't fit the Chinese characteristics at all. That was the look many years ago. Now, with the economic development of our country, you basically don't see people with that look on the street anymore." Faced with the other party's misunderstanding, Zhao Qingsu felt helpless. There are always some people who don't know what's good for them and insult the appearance of Chinese people, those squinty eyes and freckles. I don't deny that there are people who look like that, but if you walk on the street now, where can you still see people who look like that? To put it bluntly, it is all a form of vilification of Chinese people by some ill-intentioned people abroad. Oh yes, yes, the world is developing so fast now. Before we knew it, China has become a developing country. I used to think that China was not fun, but after seeing you, I think China should be very interesting. When I have time, I will go to your country for a trip. After the other party expressed his affirmation of Hua Guo, he changed the subject and asked, "Are these 2 lovely children yours?" "Yes. If it weren't for the fact that these 2 cute kids look so much like you, I wouldn't believe you're so young and already have kids this big. You look like you're only in your early 20s. After seriously praising Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu, the two ran over to take photos with the 2 little ones. Although the 2 little ones were very busy, they readily agreed to take a photo. After taking the photo, Rui stared at the clumsy Ping and for a long time and sighed. Brother, you take your time to learn. I'm leaving first tilde tilde. Ah, where are you going? Of course I'm going skiing, idiot. As Rui spoke, she slid her feet, gradually increasing her speed and glided out like a bird, quickly rushing into the crowd. Her small figure also attracted the attention of many people. Look, there's a very cute kid over there. Were such young children sent here by their parents to ski? I have to say it's pretty good. After all, skiing is an activity with risks and barriers to entry. There are many teenagers learning to ski, but this is the first time they have seen such young children. The most important thing is that this is a girl with extremely delicate looks. I wish our children were this smart. Children like this are talented. Not every child is so talented. Before, our royal princesses were so cute that their photos went viral. I thought only our royal princesses were so cute. I didn't expect that other countries also have such cute children. A group of people surrounded Rui and praised her, trying to get close to her. This was discovered by the sharp-eyed Su Yuan. He walked over and waved for Rui to come back. Although Rui didn't know why his father asked him to come back, he still obediently came to his side and looked at him with his big watery eyes. Dad, is there something you want me to come back for? Oh, nothing, Su Yuan asked calmly. I just wanted to ask you to come over and ask if you want to drink hot chocolate drink. You called me back just for such a small matter. Rui rolled her eyes in disgust and said, I'm going to continue skiing. Don't leave. Looking at the envious, jealous, and hateful eyes coming towards him from all directions, Su Yuan felt proud yet also felt a sense of crisis. His daughter is so beautiful. She was loved by everyone when she was little. Now that she grows up, won't the people chasing after her circle the earth? He can secretly dismiss those ignorant or ill-intentioned suitors, but he can't stop his own daughter from being attracted to them. In order to avoid such a tragedy, Su Yuan thought for a moment and said seriously, Dad has a few words to say to you. Can you promise to learn every word Dad says? Okay, Dad, whatever you say is what it is. Rui was a little disgusted. Dad is such a troublesome adult. Who made me your daughter? Just tell me, I promise I will learn every word you say. Okay, I'll start then. Chapter 478, Whatever Dad Says. Chapter 478. Su Yuan cleared his throat. First sentence, the person I love most is my dad, tilde tilde. The person I love most is my dad. Whatever Dad says is what it is. Whatever Dad says is what it is. I promise my dad that I will never have a boyfriend and be a good girl. Seeing the little one in front of him learning sentence by sentence, Su Yuan felt very happy. It is true that raising a daughter is like raising a little cotton-padded jacket. I promised my father that in the future. Rui paused for a moment and said, I will definitely have a boyfriend in the future, and I will have many, many boyfriends. Su Yuan was stunned for a moment. Rui. Dad, what you just asked me to say was too much, wasn't it? Facing Su Yuan's anger, Rui was very calm. I've read so many storybooks, every princess will meet her prince in the end, and those who die alone are all old witches. You can't let me be an old witch, right? It seems to make some sense, but... And Dad, you don't have to be jealous. No matter how many uncles and aunts like me, the people I love most in my heart are only you and Mom. Well, that's more like it. Su Yuan was satisfied with what he heard and waved his hand. Okay, then you can continue skiing. As I said before, you are not allowed to talk to strangers. Got it. I know, Dad. I really can't do anything about you. You? Seeing Rui running away, Zhao Qingsu slowly walked over and put away the phone she had used to secretly take the photo. Did Rui make you unhappy? Why would I be unhappy? When the cabbage grows big, I have to feed it to the pigs. It's impossible for it to rot in the field. I don't know which chosen pig will get to eat this good cabbage. Su Yuan sighed. I've been a little bit crazy lately. Rui was obviously still young, but he was thinking so far ahead, and what concerned him most was, is skiing so fun? She doesn't even like to drink hot chocolate drinks, which is her favorite drink in recent days. Okay, honey, she doesn't like to drink, but I do. How about you go buy me a cup? Okay, wait, wife. Su Yuan knew that Zhao Qingsu made such a request just to comfort himself, but he still went happily. After asking for a cup of low-sugar hot chocolate drink at the front desk, Su Yuan paid for it quickly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully paying 59 yuan for his wife Zhao Qingsu and getting a tenfold rebate of 590 yuan. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully triggering the lucky rebate and obtaining a castle in the Alps. What? Listening to the system prompt voice coming from his ears, Su Yuan felt it was incredible. He had spent so much money to buy so many jewels before but never triggered the lucky rebate. He didn't expect that this time he just bought a drink and got a castle in the Alps as a gift. I don't know if this castle is a fake one. Thinking of this, Su Yuan quickly ran to the system interface to check the situation of the castle. However, the castle that appears on the system interface is majestic, ancient, and profound, and it is obvious that it is hundreds of years old. The most important thing is that this castle is located near the Alps. Besides being very quiet and far away from human habitation, it also comes with a super large ski resort. Can't we just go over and have some fun? And now Rui likes skiing. He is really worried if he lets her ski alone in a noisy place like a ski resort. But it is different in his own private ski resort. Thinking of now having a private ski resort, Su Yuan ran over and handed Zhao Qingsu the hot chocolate drink. His first words were, "Wife, let's go to the Alps tomorrow." Huh? Zhao Qingsu was confused by his jumping thoughts. Why do you suddenly want to go to the Alps? Doesn't Rui like skiing? I have a private ski resort over there. I'll call the staff there and ask them to clean up the ski resort. I'll take Rui there tomorrow. Ah, you're spoiling her too much. I only have this one daughter. If I don't spoil her, who else should I spoil? Anyway, Zhao Qingsu couldn't persuade Su Yuan, so she had no choice but to agree to go to the Alps to play tomorrow. She also mentioned this in the live broadcast in the evening. The scenery over there in the Alps is indeed quite nice, but the problem is that it's too cold. Isn't it a good time to go there now? What's appropriate or inappropriate? Just go for it. Zuer, the conditions over there in the Alps are tough. You must take good care of yourself and keep warm. Don't catch a cold. Tough conditions? I've never seen Zuer go to a place with tough conditions. Zuer, you must live stream tomorrow. Even if there are no conditions for live streaming, you must take a short video for us. Good. Zhao Qingsu agreed reluctantly. Li Hao, who happened to be watching her live broadcast, also became excited and called Su Yuan directly. Brother Yuan, I heard that you are going to the Alps tomorrow. I just happen to have nothing to do in the company during this period, so I shamelessly brought Yan Yan along tilde. Okay, it just so happens that I haven't seen Yan Yan for a long time. Yan Yan has grown up a lot. I don't know if she has grown up or not, but the little girl has lost a lot of weight recently. I feed her good food and nutritious food every day, but her weight keeps dropping, which gives me a headache. Li Hao became very sad when talking about this matter. He didn't know what was wrong. At first he thought it was a physical problem, so he took the little girl to the hospital for a checkup. But the results showed that everything was healthy. But the little girl has become thinner and is no longer as cute as before. If I remember correctly, Yan Yan is already 12 years old this year, right? Su Yuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If she's still as fat as before at this age, aren't you afraid that she won't be able to get married in the future? It doesn't matter if she can't get married. Can't I support her? If possible, I'll let her stay with me for the rest of her life. You're going too far. Just kidding. Li Hao sighed. Let's not talk about this. I've been so busy with my career and raising kids in recent years that my scalp is numb. I haven't had a good rest for a long time. I finally have some free time, so I must spend some time with you guys this time. When he was a playboy outside every day, he never thought that there would be such a day for him. However, although each day was tiring, it was also very fulfilling, and I felt much better about death. Chapter 479, You are underestimating me too much. Chapter 479. After confirming that Li Hao was going to bring Yan Yan over, Zhao Qingsu was also very happy. She hadn't seen Yan Yan for a long time. When I think about it this way, the trip to the Alps becomes something I look forward to. You don't feel excited that your husband and I are going with you, but you feel excited about having a little brat. Is it important that your husband and I don't have a little brat? Hubby, look at what you said. Of course you are the most important in my heart. Zhao Qingsu took Su Yuan's arm and saw Dailier coming over, so she went over to say goodbye to him. Prince Dailier, we had a lot of fun in Dubai these days thanks to your care, but we plan to leave Dubai tomorrow. You've only been in Dubai for a few days. Why are you leaving so suddenly? Dailier was stunned for a moment. There are still many places you haven't visited yet, and I plan to take you all here. Actually, Dubai is really fun, but doesn't my daughter like skiing, so we plan to go skiing in the Alps tomorrow. Zhao Qingsu also told Diri about her itinerary. Dailier waved his hand. There are only small villages over there in the Alps. There are no proper ski resorts at all. It's better to go to our ski resort. I really don't mind you going there. The conditions over there are too harsh. It's okay, I have a house over there. Su Yuan smiled slightly. How about you bring Sai Li with you? It's not far from here anyway. Mr. Su, did you not learn geography well? The Alps are so far away from Dubai, how can they be close? Don't I have a private plane? Contact the nearby airport and it will take about 5 or 6 hours to get there. But flying is tiring. When it comes to private jets, Diriye is not very surprised. After all, the Dubai royal family has plenty of money, and a marginal king like him has no shortage of money to spend. Not only does the royal family have a dedicated private jet, he also has a private jet and occasionally takes a private jet to other countries for vacation. However, because flying is too tiring, he is too lazy to travel now and has not used a plane for 1 or 2 years. How can flying be tiring? Ping An, who could never learn to ski, came over and was a little surprised when he heard this. We can reach our destination by just sleeping on the plane. Every time he gets on a plane, he is very excited at first, but he falls asleep after a while. Anyway, I fell asleep for a while and the plane landed. I didn't feel tired at all. Flying on an airplane? You kids definitely don't understand. Dalier looked at Ping An's innocent eyes and was too lazy to argue with him. He lowered his head and looked at Sai Li. Tell me, are you going to the Alps to play? Of course I do. I just heard that there's a big ski resort over there. Sai Li nodded without hesitation. Dad, can we go together? No. Daddy. Sai Li grabbed Dalier's trouser leg and said pitifully, but I really want to go tilde. Okay, go. With no other choice but to accept the offer, Dalier took Sai Li with him and said, We're leaving tomorrow, right? Then I'll take her home to prepare. What are you preparing for, Dad? It's so cold over there. Of course I should go back and prepare some clothes. Is it always winter there? In theory, yes. Anyway, they were ready to go to the Alps for fun, so Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu and their group packed up and set off that night. They discussed meeting up with Diriye at the airport the next day, and the hotel would provide a special car to take them there. But the next day after breakfast, when Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu and the 2 children came downstairs, they saw Pu Jin waiting for them. Mr. Su, you're leaving after helping me so much? I feel really bad. I learned from the prince that you are going to the Alps. How about this? I'll take you to the airport in the morning, and then we'll take our 3rd prince's private plane over there. Pu Jin said incessantly, Mr. Su, actually you helped us yesterday, and our 3rd prince is very grateful to you. We were planning to treat you to a meal in 2 days, but we didn't expect you to leave so soon, so we, the 3rd prince, decided to thank you in a different way. The 3rd prince's private jet is the largest in Dubai, and the facilities on it are much better than those of ordinary private jets. You can just go over and take a look. Oh, no thanks. Su Yuan shook his head. I also came here from China by private jet. This time I also plan to take a private jet to the Alps. I won't bother you. Don't. Pu Jin was a little anxious. He originally wanted to persuade Su Yuan that it was an honor to ride on the 3rd prince's private plane. But on second thought, I felt it was nonsense. Although I haven't spent a long time with Su Yuan, it is obvious that he is not short of money at all. Not only is he not short of money, he probably has a high status in the country and does not necessarily take the royal family seriously. So he rolled his eyes and said, How about this, Mr. Su? Do you want to accept our 3rd prince's kindness? Let's not rush to make a decision. Anyway, we have to go to the airport later. After this, I will take you to visit the 3rd prince's private jet, and then you can make a decision. Okay. Hey, get in the car, tilde. Soon, Pu Jin drove Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu and their family of 4 to the airport, and Dalier was already waiting there. When he saw Pu Jin coming over, Dalier immediately hugged Sai Li and showed a vigilant expression. Why did you come with us today? What are you doing here? If you can come here, why can't I? You are looking down on me. Pu Jin glanced at Dalier with a smug look. Prince, I came here this time to share something good with you. What good can come from being with you? He felt a headache when he talked about Pu Jindiri. To put it bluntly, the reason why he agreed to go to the Alps this time was because what happened at the racecourse yesterday was too conspicuous, which led to a lot of people from his 12th brother coming to warn him after the game. I went to the Alps just to get away and have some peace and quiet. It also indirectly shows that he is not on the side of the 3rd prince. Of course, Pu Jin smiled and said, The 3rd prince is so kind that he has lent you his private jet. Isn't that a good thing? Chapter 480, How is it not satisfied? Chapter 480. This is certainly not a good thing. When Dalier heard what Pu Jin said, he immediately became excited. We have private jets. Why do we have to take Brother San's plane? If his 12th brother's people knew about this, they would probably cause trouble for him again. As expected, I shouldn't have anything to do with Pu Jin. Why are you so excited? The third prince was willing to lend out his private jet because of Mr. Su's face. You are just a byproduct. Don't think too highly of yourself, otherwise you will be disappointed. Pu Jin finished speaking and extended a hand towards Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan. Mr. Su, Mrs. Su, I have applied for the VIP channel for you. We can go directly to the airport to see the planes now. Su Yuan nodded and prepared to go inside. Wait a moment. Dalier suddenly called a few people. When they looked at him with dissatisfaction, he opened the car door behind him unnaturally and said, Salami, come out. Soon, a woman who was wrapped tightly all over left the car. The woman had a graceful figure, but in this hot summer, she wrapped herself tightly all over without revealing any skin, except for a pair of beautiful big eyes. Those eyes were a bit similar to Sally's, equally beautiful and bright. Probably Sally's mother. Salami, isn't this your wife? Pu Jin was stunned for a moment, then immediately said, You have learned bad things. How can you take your wife out? A woman should stay at home to take care of her husband, raise children, honor her parents, and do housework. How can you take her out? Mr. Pu Jin, this is someone else's wife, not yours. Aren't you meddling too much? Zhao Qingsu was somewhat disgusted with Diri's remarks and could not help but speak up to help. Pu Jin was still stubborn. Madam Su, the customs here are different from yours. Women here are not allowed to go out. Now. Okay, I don't want to hear your talk. Zhao Qingsu rolled her eyes at him, took the initiative to walk to Salami's side, held her hand, and asked gently, Why do you wear so many clothes when you go out? Aren't you hot? Otherwise, take off your headscarf. Most of the body's heat is concentrated in the head. It must be very hot if you wrap your head tightly in such a hot day. Thanks. Salami probably hasn't been out for a long time, and she felt a little restrained. I'm not hot, and women have to wear a headscarf when they go out. This is our tradition and my belief. Here, it's not called a headscarf, but a hijab. Translated into your language, it means a loincloth, but here it symbolizes modesty and virtue. Salami spoke in an organized and clear manner, and she was obviously an educated woman. But since she had already said so, Zhao Qingsu did not force her. Okay then, let's get on the plane first. This way, please, tilde. Pu Jin hurried forward to lead the way. Su Yuan carefully held Zhao Qingsu's arm, followed by the two little ones, and walked slowly forward. And behind them was Diri holding Sally. Salami was last. She was not worthy of walking shoulder to shoulder with Diriye, but her eyes fell on the figures of Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu in front of her. Even though it was just a back view, she could see that Su Yuan was so cautious. Her eyes were filled with envy. In fact, although she is now following her husband timidly and looks like a very virtuous wife, her background is not low. Although her family is just a merchant family and her title is not high, her family holds a lot of oil resources and has many manners. When she was at home, she was also the apple of the eye and was as favored as Sally. But after getting married, the situation changed completely. The tradition here in Dubai requires her to be completely obedient to her husband, stay at home to take care of her husband and children, and never go out. She could only obey. Otherwise, you will be condemned. No matter how much her family dotes on her, they will not allow her to divorce because it is a shame for the family. Before this, she hadn't been out of the house for at least 3 years. The last time she went out was because her mother was seriously ill, so she went back to visit her mother. She left in a hurry that time and was only away for 1 day. Look, this is our third prince's plane, the largest flying plane in our country. Let's go up and take a look. Soon, Pu Jin brought a few people to the third prince's private plane. Compared to the private jet that Su Yuan's system rewarded, this one looks a little bigger. As soon as I saw the private plane was safe and sound, I was immediately excited. What a big plane, tilde. After saying that, he skipped up the stairs. It seems that the two little guys like the third prince's private jet very much. Pu Jin was very satisfied with the reactions of the two little ones. Dalier also changed his mind and persuaded Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. Mr. Su, Mrs. Su, although I am reluctant to take my third brother's private plane, it took 5 years and exhausted countless financial and material resources to build this top-notch private plane. It has many functions that ordinary private planes do not have. I did it once before, and the experience was actually quite good. If you want to be more comfortable on the way, you can take one of my 3 private planes. Seeing Dili and Pu Jin praising this private jet so highly, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu also walked up curiously. However, when he took a look at the interior of the private jet, he was immediately disappointed. The interior decoration of this private jet is indeed very luxurious, and it is almost as magnificent as the interior of a villa. But that's all. The utilization rate of the internal space is even worse than that of his plane. How is it? Are you dissatisfied? Seeing that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu looked unhappy, Pu Jin was stunned. He still said very modestly, "If you are dissatisfied with anything, please feel free to tell me." But even though he said this, he felt in his heart that the design of this aircraft was already perfect, and there was nothing he was dissatisfied with, right? After all, each seat on this plane is designed to be very comfortable, and it can accommodate more than 100 people. Even if you bring a whole group of nannies and bodyguards, there is no need to worry about not having a seat. No complaints, it's pretty good. Su Yuan did not belittle him, but was determined to go to his own private plane. But I'd better take my own private plane. Chapter 481, no need for that. Chapter 481. Don't worry, don't be so polite. After all, this was the task that the third prince had given him, so Pu Jin would certainly find ways to complete it. He quickly persuaded Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. Mr. Su and Mrs. Su, I know that people in your country like to be polite, but people in our country don't have so many rules. The third prince lent you his private plane because he really wanted to thank you. Besides, you have helped our third prince so much. This is what you should do. And even if you don't want to take our third prince's private plane, you still have to consider your own children. Children are weak to begin with. If they don't have a comfortable environment after taking such a long flight, how can they have the mood to play when they arrive in the Alps? They will be exhausted a long time ago. Pu Jin racked his brains to find reasons to keep Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. Dailier was watching the show from the side, neither saying he was leaving nor helping out. After all, he was just here to take a ride on the plane, and it didn't matter whose plane he took. Be safe and sound. What do you think of Uncle's private jet? Seeing that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu were about to refuse, Pu Jin quickly tried to persuade the two little ones to go. How about we take this private plane to the Alps to play? No. Ruyi shook her head and said, it would be better for me to take our own private plane. Weren't the two little ones very happy just now when they saw the huge private jet? Why did you suddenly change your mind? Pu Jin was a little dumbfounded and asked, why? Because our private jet has many rooms and many fun things. There is nothing fun here. It's boring. After Ruyi finished speaking, she stepped off the plane with her short legs. What? Pu Jin didn't understand Ruyi's meaning. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu had already followed Ruyi off the plane and walked towards their own private plane. Dailier followed slowly, and when passing by Pu Jin, he did not forget to pour cold water on him. It seems that not everyone is interested in my third brother's things. You are destined to fail in this mission. The prince is joking. Pu Jin was so angry at the ridicule that he followed them unwillingly. He wanted to see what was so good about Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. Well, when I came here just now, I asked the airport staff, and they said that it would take about 6.5 hours to fly from here to the Alps. That's quite a long time. How about we play some games on the plane? Okay. Su Yuan nodded. What to play? How about teaching 3 kids to play werewolf? This game should be good for training their logical ability. Listen to my wife, Tilda. After getting on the plane, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu were already discussing what to do next. After the discussion, they turned around and asked Dailier, who had just boarded the plane, Prince, how about we play werewolf later? But when Dailier looked at the interior of the plane, he was completely stunned and didn't even hear clearly what Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu had just said. He looked at the interior of the private jet in shock. He never expected it to be so different. No matter how fancy it sounds, a private jet is simply a means of transportation. Everyone is focusing on designing private jet seats to be more comfortable. Many private jet seats can realize many functions, such as folding down to become a bed or having built-in massage function. But the private jet in front of me is just a small living room. It directly subverts the single-seat design concept of ordinary private jets and turns this place into a home-like place. He could understand why yachts and cruise ships were designed this way, but why were airplanes designed this way? Is this a private plane? Just when Deary was so shocked that he couldn't speak, Pu Jin, who was following behind him, spoke. He was also shocked. Can a private jet be designed like this? Haven't you seen it before? Su Yuan raised an eyebrow and glanced at the expressions of the two people. Why don't you come in and take a look? Okay, then I'll take a closer look. Dailier was still very curious about things he had never seen before, and nodded and agreed without hesitation. Pu Jin also followed. He heard Pu Jin's footsteps and turned back to look at him with dissatisfaction. Your third prince's private jet is so nice. Why don't you take a closer look at it and come to my place? If you can come over, why can't I? I'm just here for a visit. Pu Jin glared at Diri with confidence and walked in front of him. Diri followed without giving in. The two of them quickly looked around all the rooms on the private jet, including bedrooms, kitchens, bathrooms, and even a study. It doesn't look like the design of a private jet at all. It looks like this journey will be very comfortable. After walking around for a while, Dilly sat down on the sofa in the living room happily and said to Pu Jin, "Okay, you can go back and tell my third brother that you haven't completed the task. If my third brother scolds you, you can ask him to call me and I can say a few good words for you over the phone and plead for mercy or something." "That's not necessary." Pu Jin looked at Diri unwillingly and reluctantly wished Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu a pleasant journey before getting off the plane. The plane took off quickly. "Mr. Su, riding in your private jet is truly an incomparable enjoyment. I really didn't expect a private jet could be designed like this." On the way, Dailier flattered Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. He himself didn't even realize that he had unknowingly turned into a bootlicker. "Let's stop talking so much and start playing the game. Kids, you have never played this game before, right? I will explain the basic rules of the game to you first, and then we will play a few rounds to experiment." When they heard that they were going to play games, the three little ones were very happy. He carefully bent over the table and listened to Zhao Qingsu's explanation of the rules. The werewolf game can be divided into the good camp and the werewolf camp. The good camp includes civilians and clergy, and the bad camp includes ordinary werewolves and special werewolves. Zhao Qingsu explained the rules for about 5 minutes. Sai Li was drowsy after listening to these words, totally confused by the complicated rules. Ping An was not much better, he just barely understood these rules. But Ruyi's eyes sparkled as she listened. She even felt thirsty after Zhao Qingsu had been talking for 5 minutes, so she happily poured a glass of water for Zhao Qingsu. "Mom, drink some water." "Good." Zhao Qingsu patted her head and asked them, "Did you understand the rules I just mentioned?" Chapter 482. The scenery here is really nice. Chapter 482. "No." Ping An shook his head honestly. "I only understood a little bit." Sally didn't understand at all. "Mom, I understand all the rules you just mentioned, and I have memorized them all." Ruyi shook her little head proudly. "If they don't understand, I'll explain it to them again later." "Mom, you're also listening. If there's anything wrong with what I said, can you correct me?" You really understood. Although the game Werewolf is a popular game among the people, the rules are actually not that simple. It took Zhao Qingsu several days to figure out the rules. After she explained the rules once just now, she didn't expect them to understand them all, but Ruyi actually memorized them all. Although she knew her own child was very smart, she still found it incredible to hear her say this. "It's just a few rules. What's so difficult about that?" "What do you mean there are only a few rules? There are so many complicated rules here, okay?" The person who questioned Ruyi was Diri, who had been silent the whole time. After hearing what Dailier said, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu looked at him at the same time. Dailier felt a little embarrassed when being looked at. He put his hand to his mouth, coughed lightly, and said unnaturally, "I am usually very busy with work. Is it strange that I have never played such a game? Besides, I usually sleep on the plane. Who would play such a boring little game?" Su Yuan followed suit. "If you feel bored, then don't play." "I was just joking. Why are you taking it so seriously?" After Dailier protested for a while, he poked Ruyi's little hand and said, "Come on, tell us again the rules you just memorized." He just didn't believe that these complicated rules could be memorized just by a little girl casually saying them once. "Well, okay, uncle, then you have to listen carefully." Ruyi cleared her throat in a formal manner and began to speak. "The werewolf game is a confrontational game. It is divided into 2 camps, the good camp and the werewolf camp." Seeing the little guy talking non-stop for 5 minutes, and actually reciting every word Zhao Qingsu said just now without missing a word, Dailier was stunned. "Is this a kid? You all understand, right?" After she finished, she started the test in a serious manner and directly called Dailier's name. "Uncle Dailier, please answer what role the witch plays in this." Dailier found that he was so shocked just now, that he was so focused on being shocked, that he really forgot what the content was. The witch is a werewolf priest character. She has the skills of antidote and poison. A witch with 2 medicines in hand is the biggest enemy of the werewolf camp. The werewolf witch has 2 medicines. The antidote can save the player who is stabbed, and the poison can poison any player on the field. Only one of the antidote and poison can be used in one night. Just when Diri didn't know what to say, Salami, who had been silent, spoke. She explained Ruyi's problem perfectly. "Absolutely." Ruyi nodded. Uncle Dylier, it seems that you still didn't listen carefully when I was talking just now. If you still don't understand, I can explain it to you again separately, but you can't be distracted this time. Dylier was silent for 3 seconds. This game is so bad, can I not play it? No, there aren't enough people to begin with. If you don't play, there won't be enough people. Deary sighed. After Rui explained the rules again, everyone decided to play a few rounds to see how it went. However, Salami had no intention of participating. Zhao Qingsu asked her, "Don't you want to play this game?" "Why?" Salami was stunned for a moment and looked at Deary beside him. To be honest, she felt lucky to be able to go out this time, and she really didn't expect to be able to play games with everyone. Everyone was playing games at the same table, regardless of gender. She had heard of such things before, but I have never seen it before. Not to mention participating. You should come and play too. Didn't you hear that there aren't enough people? Seeing that Salami asked for his opinion, Deary kindly agreed to let her play together. Salami immediately showed a happy smile. "Okay, let's play together." After playing Werewolf for 6 hours on the way, the plane landed at an airport in eastern France. After getting out of the airport, we got on a car and rode for another 2 hours before arriving near our final destination. Everyone was playing Red Eye when they were playing Werewolf on the plane, so they slept through the entire 2 hours. Although the road was occasionally a little bumpy, everyone slept soundly. "Wake up, Mr. Su, don't sleep anymore. We are almost at our destination." Seeing that they were almost there, the driver who had been driving silently all the way pushed Su Yuan, who was sitting in the passenger seat. Su Yuan opened his eyes dazedly. Suddenly, an endless stretch of snow-white mountain range appeared before my eyes. The mountain range connected to the blue sky. It was vast, boundless, and majestic. He was a little sleepy at first, but he woke up immediately when he saw such a beautiful scenery. I have to say that the scenery here is really nice. No wonder so many people are not afraid of the cold and run to this place. He opened the car window a little, and the biting cold wind blew in, making him shiver. "Mr. Su, you are wearing very thin clothes now. It is best not to open the window to avoid catching a cold." The driver saw his actions and reminded him with a smile. "How far is the castle?" Su Yuan sneezed slightly and was afraid that Zhao Qingsu and the 3 kids would also catch a cold, so he quickly closed the window again. "It'll probably take another 10 minutes. Hearing that they would reach their destination in 10 minutes, Su Yuan woke up everyone who was sleeping in the car without hesitation. "Wake up! Don't sleep anymore. We are almost there." "Almost there, let me see. Wow, the scenery here is really nice. Isn't the snow here so beautiful?" After being woken up, everyone reacted the same way as Su Yuan did before. They were instantly shocked by the beautiful scenery here. Sai Li was the most excited. It would be fun to ski here tilde. Although skiing in a ski resort is quite fun, the ski area is man-made after all. Many places have restrictions and you can only ski in fixed places, but in this place you can be free. Chapter 483, I'm not that weak. Chapter 483. Isn't this place too remote? Dilly didn't expect that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu would really honestly take people to the depths of the Alps when they said they wanted to come to the Alps to play. It is true that the scenery of this place is very beautiful, but no matter how beautiful the scenery is, it cannot be used as food or clothes. Moreover, this place is far away from the city center, and there are few people living nearby. If you want to live in a better place, it is basically impossible. You won't have to find a place to sleep in a farmer's home, right? Su Yuan really tried his best to ski. He somewhat regretted agreeing to come along. The place is indeed a bit remote. Su Yuan nodded. "But I accept it's a little remote if I can see such a beautiful scenery." "Then you are truly noble." Dylier couldn't help but say a few sarcastic words. He turned around and looked at Sai Li's excited face. He was a little angry and started to scare her. "Sai Li, don't think you can ski as you please in this place. You think too much. I tell you that you have to be extra careful when skiing in this place because there are wolves in this mountain. If you run far away and encounter a wolf, it will eat you directly. Besides, we may not have a place to sleep at night. We need to buy a tent to sleep in. Wolves can easily tear the tent into pieces and run in to eat you. The most uncomfortable thing is that there is nothing delicious here. If we are hungry, we can only eat compressed biscuits and snow." "Really, Dad?" Sai Li's eyes widened in fear at Dylier's words. "Are there really so many wolves here? I'm your biological father. How could I lie to you about something like this?" Dylier held Sai Li on his lap and said, "So when we get to our destination, you must not run around, understand?" "No." Sai Li hugged Dylier's neck and said, I don't want to be eaten by the wolf. I want to be with my parents forever. Sally, your father lied to you. Rui couldn't bear to listen any longer and looked at Dilly seriously. Uncle Dilly, you can't lie to children like this, or you will be struck by thunder next time. Dearie was full of question marks. Isn't this too cruel? But what I just said was all true. How do you know that I was lying to you? Of course you're lying. Wolves live on the grasslands. In such a cold weather, wolves would have frozen to death long ago. So there will definitely be no wolves this time. Rui tilted her head and thought for a while. But there must be bears in this place, because bears have thick fur and are not afraid of the cold in winter. Bear? Sai Li was stunned for a moment, and the little hand holding Dylier's neck was even more reluctant to let go. Woo, woo, woo. Bears are scarier than wolves. A few people were chatting and laughing in the car and didn't really pay attention to what was outside the window. When the car stopped, they were already standing in front of a huge castle. The castle is gray in color as a whole. Although the walls look very old, they have obviously been well repaired, and there is not a single crack. What a beautiful castle. Are we going to stay in the castle tonight? Unexpectedly, there appeared a castle like the one in the fairy tale book in the snow-capped mountains. Sally cheered immediately, opened the car door, and jumped out. Dearie was also stunned. Salami on the other side quickly put on her down jacket, took out a pink down jacket, and ran over to put it on Sally. Although this place is indeed beautiful, it is really cold. Come on, put on your down jackets, don't catch a cold. The car was warm with the air conditioner on, just like in summer, but it was very cold outside. In order to get off the car and play quickly, the two little ones didn't need anyone to help them put on their down jackets. They quickly put on the small down jackets they brought with them, and then flew out like little birds. The last ones to fall behind were Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, and Dylier. Su Yuan personally put on Zhao Qingsu's down jacket and asked her, "Wife, do you think this place is pretty good?" "Of course it's good." Zhao Qingsu looked at every detail of the castle in amazement and asked, "Honey, when did you buy this castle? It's so beautiful. This is the first time I've seen such a beautiful castle. It's like traveling through time. I'll keep it a secret as to when I bought it." Su Yuan smiled slightly and said, "Let's go in and take a look. Mr. Su, you dare to buy this castle? You can't buy it without tens of billions, right?" Dylier didn't expect that Su Yuan wanted to come here to play, because he had such a big castle here. Such ancient castles have a history of at least several hundred years. It is obvious what financial resources it takes to buy such a castle. After all, castles like this have gone through hundreds of years of ups and downs. In fact, they look beautiful on the surface but have many problems behind the scenes. If you want people to live in them, you have to invest at least several million in maintenance costs every year. It's about the same price as owning a large private jet. Because such a castle is really not beautiful, he had been tempted before, but when he thought that the frequency of use of such a castle is much lower than that of a private jet, he finally gritted his teeth and did not make up his mind to buy it. But who knew that Su Yuan actually had one? "I didn't ask how much it was." In response to Dearie's question, Su Yuan answered perfunctorily, "Welcome, sir and Madam Tilda Tilda." The castle was already well preserved. Before Su Yuan came here yesterday, he had already greeted the person in charge here. The person in charge temporarily hired a dozen maids. Now the maids have all lined up in 2 rows at the door waiting for Su Yuan and others to come. After seeing them, they quickly welcomed them in unified English. Su Yuan nodded. "Just do whatever you need to do. There's no need to stand guard here." "Yes." The maids quickly dispersed. Some went into the kitchen, some picked up mops and started sweeping the floor, and some were wiping the dust off the tables and chairs, even though they already looked very clean. When Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, and others entered the living room, the stove in the living room was burning with a raging fire. It makes the whole living room warm. A cup of steaming black tea was already placed on the table in the living room. Su Yuan found a chair and sat down, pouring a cup of tea for Zhao Qingsu. "Come, drink a cup of tea to warm your body, don't catch a cold." "How can I be that weak?" Zhao Qingsu said this, but still took the tea handed to her by Su Yuan, and then began to look around the room. Chapter 484, That's Too Tired. Chapter 484. This is a typical European castle. Even in the rooms, there are a large number of columns and vaults of various shapes, giving people a feeling of solidity, heaviness, balance, and stability. The high-ceilinged foyer, gate and round arched windows inside the castle make it full of romance and solemnity. The intricate crystal chandeliers, the thick red Persian carpets on the floor, and the burning wrought iron candlesticks hanging on the walls. although they looked old-fashioned, glowed brilliantly when illuminated by the fire in the fireplace. It is hard to imagine that such a magnificent castle can be hidden deep in the Alps. I don't know how much effort the craftsmen put into building this castle. Are the things in these castles all left over from the past? After thinking for a while, Zhao Qingsu asked the person in charge of the castle standing next to her. The person in charge nodded and replied respectfully, "Of course, ma'am, this castle is very well preserved. I have asked people from relevant departments to repair everything inside. It completely maintains the original appearance of the castle with almost no changes. Of course, the flowers in the vase on the table are the latest ones I replaced. Good fellow. As the new generation of Dubai prince, Diriye has seen a lot of good things since he was a child, but he was still shocked after seeing the furnishings inside the castle. Even though they are both ancient castles, the price difference is actually huge, which mainly depends on the depth of the castle's historical heritage and the degree of preservation. Like many ancient castles, although they look like castles, they are actually just a castle in name only. In fact, all the things originally inside the castle have been auctioned off. Later, the castle was almost renovated from start to finish, and it is just a castle with a layer of skin. To put it bluntly, a castle like this is just a gimmick, but most of the things in Su Yuan's castle are actually from the castle itself. Not to mention the value of the castle. The furniture and murals inside the castle are all antiques. Mr. Su, don't you have too few security personnel here? Dilier looked at the antiques in the room, touched them here, looked at them there, and began to make suggestions. The people here are tough. Aren't you afraid that someone will come here in the middle of the night and rob you of everything? Mr. Deary, I have already informed the nearby police station. They will send people to patrol the area near the castle every hour. If anything happens, they will definitely find it immediately. To have said hello means to have given enough money. This saves a lot of trouble. So it's pretty safe here, then I won't worry. Deary lazily curled up on the sofa, thought for a while, and had the sofa dragged to the window. He covered himself with a thin blanket and then held Sally in his arms to watch the snow scene. However, Sally was restless and said she wanted to take Ping An and Ruyi to explore the castle. Go play. Children at this age are very lively and active. Zhao Qingsu did not stop them from running around. She just told the two maids to follow behind and not to break anything. Dilier nodded and reminded Sai Li. Yes, the things here are all antiques. If your father breaks them, I can't afford to pay for it. Then I can only leave you here to wash dishes for others. Have you read the story of Cinderella? Then you will be Cinderella. I got it, Dad. Sally nodded and ran up the stairs. Behind him is peace and happiness. I'll go pack my luggage. Although everyone's luggage was not much, just a few boxes of clothes and daily necessities, it was not a small amount either. The person in charge had all the luggage moved to the corner of the room and was asking Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu where to put the things. Su Yuan casually asked them to just put their boxes in the room and arranged a guest room for Dilir Salami. Ask someone to put all their things in the guest room. Originally, the maid could have done all these things, but Salami insisted on going there himself. Diriye did not object. I'll go with you. Salami didn't say much along the way. Even when he was playing games, he would look at Diri to get his consent before speaking. Zhao Qingsu really couldn't stand it. But there was nothing she could do. This was their tradition, and she could only respect it. In order to talk to Salami alone, she decided to accompany Salami to pack his luggage. Salami did not refuse. The two of them went upstairs quickly. After Salami chatted with Zhao Qingsu for a few casual words, he planned to go back to his room to pack his luggage, but he didn't expect Zhao Qingsu to follow him. She was stunned for a moment. Aren't you going back to your own room to pack your luggage? I don't have much luggage, so there's nothing to pack. Do you mind if I sit in your room? Zhao Qingsu blinked at her. Salami shook his head a little surprised. Of course I don't mind, but it takes a lot of time to pack the luggage. I'm afraid that after you go to my room, there won't be enough time. She glanced at the time on the wall. It's already 4:30 in the afternoon. Dinner will be around 6 o'clock. I have to pack my luggage before dinner. The clothes and other things were already neatly placed in the box, right? Why did it take so long to sort them out? Zhao Qingsu was a little confused, but she followed Salami into the room. After she entered the room, she finally understood what Salami meant by tidying up the room. Salami opened the suitcase, took out the clothes inside, found a hanger, spread out all the clothes and hung them on it, ironed them meticulously with an iron and hung them in the closet. There were also various socks, underwear, and clothing accessories, which were also neatly stacked, just like the towels placed on the rack in a hotel. It's hard to imagine that someone would tidy up the place where they live so meticulously. Salami, does this mean you have obsessive-compulsive disorder? As if seeing the doubt in Zhao Qingsu's eyes, Salami explained with a smile, I don't know if you need to do this, but in our country this is the duty of a wife. Whether you are a commoner or a princess, you have to do the same thing. That's too tiring, isn't it? Zhao Qingsu found it very novel. Ever since Su Yuan became rich, she moved into a big house with Su Yuan. Although she hired 2 nannies, one to take care of daily life and the other to buy groceries and cook, she cleaned her own bedroom and studio by herself. Like Su Yuan, she didn't like others to disturb her private space excessively. As for the bedroom and studio, they are a little messy except when they are cleaned up at the beginning of each week. Chapter 485, I am so happy. Chapter 485. Although tidiness makes people feel comfortable, occasional messiness is needed to bring a breath of life. Otherwise, it would be like living in a hotel every day, which would not necessarily be comfortable, right? We've already entered the room. Aren't you going to take off your headscarf? To be honest, Zhao Qingsu was a little curious about what Salami looked like. Upon hearing what Zhao Qingsu said, Salami felt a little shy. After hesitating for a while, she slowly took off her headscarf. The typical Dubai people have deep looks, oval face, big eyes, high nose, bridge, gorgeous and gentle. She already has the looks to be a big star. I didn't expect you to be so pretty. It's such a waste to wear a headscarf every day. Zhao Qingsu exclaimed and praised Salami a few words. What's so good about it? Don't everyone look like this? Salami felt very embarrassed by Zhao Qingsu's praise. She turned away shyly and continued to pack clothes in the closet. Zhao Qingsu came up to her and said, You are really pretty. You are one of the prettiest girls I have ever seen. Salami seemed to want to say something, but in the end she was too shy to say it. Instead, she changed the subject and chatted with Zhao Qingsu. I heard that girls in your country can go to school. Of course I can, can't you do the same? Zhao Qingsu remembered that Sai Li was in school. Of course you can, but in our country, it is stipulated that women can only go to school before the age of 15. After the age of 15, they are considered adult women and can only stay at home and learn from their mothers how to be a qualified wife, and then wait to get married. Salami smiled helplessly. Then you can apply to study abroad. I remember that there seem to be quite a few princes and princesses in your country who go abroad to study. After going abroad, they are no longer restricted by their families. Zhao Qingsu said, remembering what Dailier said before, and said to Salami, Dailier has already told us that when Sai Li is older, she will be sent to study in our country. Send Sally abroad to study. Salami was shocked and stood up suddenly in disbelief, dropping the clothes in his hands to the ground without noticing. Forehead. It seems that Dirier probably didn't tell her about this. Yes, to put it bluntly, Dubai is the kind of ancient feudal society with extreme patriarchy. Of course, they would not tell their wives about such things. Although Dailier likes Sai Li very much and is very open-minded about sending Sai Li abroad to study, he is also a man who grew up under this system in the world and cannot expect the same ideas as ordinary people. Don't worry. Zhao Qingsu thought that Salami was reluctant to part with Sai Li, so she comforted her. You can add my contact information, and if you miss Sai Li, I will send you her photos. No, I'm just so happy. Salami excitedly grabbed Zhao Qingsu's arm and spoke incoherently. I really didn't expect Diri to make such a decision. Yes. As if remembering something, Salami knelt down in front of Zhao Qingsu. Please, if Sai Li comes to your country, you must protect her, okay? Protect her well. Zhao Qingsu thought she was worried about the chaos in the country and Sai Li was pretty, so she was afraid that she might get into an accident. So she pulled Salami up and said, Don't worry, the public security in our country is very good. We can't even find a gun. How could Sai Li get hurt? It's not your country, it's the royal family. With tears in his eyes, Salami told Zhao Qingsu what he had seen with his own eyes. Do you know Princess Samsa? Princess Samsa, I don't know much about your country. Princess Samsa is the king's daughter. She's a very good friend of mine and a very beautiful and lively girl. Her favorite thing to do is skydiving. Because she is favored, she was allowed to learn skydiving and even got a skydiving instructor's license. When she came to see me, she told me how exciting and fun skydiving is and that she wanted to be a professional skydiving instructor in the future. At this point, Salami's tone became sad. But 3 months after she passed the parachuting instructor license exam, she was arranged to marry an old noble. She opposed the marriage, but no one listened to her. In the end, she had no choice but to secretly escape by boat but was caught and brought back. After she was caught, she was brought to court, charged with guilt and sentenced to 3 years and 5 months in prison. After she was released, she escaped again, and this time she was caught again. My father knew that I had a good relationship with her and remembered that she often came to see me. So when she was arrested, my father took me to see her in person to prevent me from learning bad things. At that time, her clothes were torn and she was covered in blood. That was my nightmare. I was horrified by her appearance and was sick for 2 months. How could a favored princess of the royal family be treated so miserably? Zhao Qingsu widened her eyes and asked subconsciously, "Then what?" "Then," Salami burst into tears. "There was no then. After I recovered from my illness, I had no news from her. I wanted to ask my father several times about her, but when I saw the look in my father's eyes, I didn't dare. I didn't know where she went or what happened to her. I only knew that I never heard from her again after that. I didn't even know if she was still alive. The system of male superiority and female inferiority is really harmful, but Zhao Qingsu has no way to change it and can only accompany her in silent mourning." But the next second, Salami grabbed her hand and said, "I know it's presumptuous of me to ask you to protect Sally, but I don't have the ability to help her, so I can only ask you. After she goes to China, you hide her and don't let the royal family find her, okay? In the future, you can change her name and give her a Chinese identity and name. I don't ask her to be rich in material terms. I just hope she can live freely, fall in love, and live an ordinary life in the future." "Good." Although it would not be nice for her to interfere in this matter, after all, it was a matter of another family and country, but Zhao Qingsu was a mother of her own, and she could understand Salami's feelings. If she were in Salami's shoes, she would have done the same. So she agreed to it without thinking. Chapter 486, Pick Up a Friend. Chapter 486. After the conversation in the room, Zhao Qingsu and Salami's relationship had unknowingly improved a lot. When they came out of the room, they had become good sisters, arm in arm, chatting and laughing. Salami originally wanted to go to Zhao Qingsu's room to help her pack up, but was rejected by Zhao Qingsu. "There's nothing to pack. It's such a cold day and there's such a beautiful view. What we should do now is not to work, but to enjoy it. The tea should be ready downstairs. Let's go downstairs and have a cup of hot tea to warm ourselves up." Bang! Before she could finish her words, she heard the crisp sound of porcelain falling from upstairs. She and Salami looked at each other and ran upstairs. Sure enough, at the entrance of the stairs, the two saw broken porcelain pieces all over the floor in front of the three children. "What should I do? I broke the vase." Sally's little face was full of panic. "I'm done. Don't be afraid, it's just a vase. If it's broken, it's broken. My parents are very easy to talk to. They won't blame you for such a thing." "But," Sally shook her head, "but that's different. If it were an ordinary vase, my father wouldn't blame me, but these are very valuable antiques." Just now in the lobby, they all said that everything here is an antique. Although the children were young and didn't know where the broken vase came from, they all knew that it must be very expensive. "That makes sense." Ping An nodded, thought for a moment, and patted his chest righteously. "Forget it, Sai Li, don't be afraid. It's just a vase. Just say I broke it. Dad will beat me up. I exercise regularly so I can handle it." "You're really not afraid of being beaten." Before Sai Li had time to be moved, Rui beside her spoke up. "This is our family's thing. Sai Li is a guest. If Sai Li broke it, Dad would definitely not blame her, but if you broke it, Dad would definitely beat you." "That seems to be true." Sally hesitated. Ping An was very persistent. "It doesn't matter. The worst that can happen is that I get beaten up anyway. Dad loves me very much and won't be willing to beat me to death." Zhao Qingsu, who heard the conversation of the three children at the stairs, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She walked over and grabbed Ping An's ear. "I noticed that you have become more and more successful recently. Have you learned to deceive your parents?" "Well, Mom, I was wrong." "What's wrong?" "It's my fault. I shouldn't have lied." "It's good to know you're wrong." Zhao Qingsu let go of his ear and said helplessly, "Since you have a good attitude in admitting your mistakes, I will forgive you for what happened today. I will talk to your father about the vase. You can continue to play, but if you break things again later, I won't care." "I know, Mom. You're the best mom in the world." After letting the three kids go play, Zhao Qingsu took Salami's arm and prepared to go downstairs, but Salami was worried. "Have you made the decision just like that?" In Dubai, although she is Sally's biological mother, she actually has no right to educate Sally. When valuables are broken, she can only tell Deary first and then deal with it. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. "Why not? It's just a vase." What broken vase? What vase?" When they got downstairs, Zhao Qingsu calmly recounted what had just happened. Before Su Yuan could say anything, Dylier jumped up from the sofa. All the vases in this castle are antiques. Who broke it? It's not that I can't afford the compensation, but these antiques are all priceless. If I damage one, I'll probably have to pay a lot of money. 3 kids were playing together and accidentally broke it. I've already taught them a lesson upstairs, so let's not pursue this matter. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. How can we not investigate such a matter? I guess it was Sai Li who broke it, right? I know you are good people and you won't hold me responsible for such a thing, but since we broke your things, we still have to pay for it. Although Diri felt a little pain, he was not a man short of money. I don't know how much it's worth, and the butler should have thrown away the fragments. Zhao Qingsu ignored the vase and talked about dinner instead. It's so cold, and we've been traveling so long, so we must have a good meal tonight. When the housekeeper came over just now, he told me that they got a few lambs from a nearby village, so we can make lamb soup tonight. Mutton soup, the mutton around here does taste delicious. Speaking of food, everyone is really looking forward to it. However, Zhao Qingsu felt a little regretful. We didn't bring some grilling utensils when we came here. In weather like this, it would be nice to set up a bonfire outside and slowly roast the lamb, right? What's so difficult about this? Su Yuan thought Zhao Qingsu's suggestion was good. Isn't it just roasted lamb? I'll ask the housekeeper to go down the mountain to buy a grill and charcoal fire, and we can eat roasted lamb tomorrow. Hubby, you are so nice, tilde. After a delicious dinner, everyone went to their rooms to rest. Although the castle was located in a remote area, there were enough servants and life was very convenient. The next day, after Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu had breakfast, they decided to go skiing and discussed going to the ski resort. Sai Li had been looking forward to skiing for a long time, and followed Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu with a happy face. At this moment, Su Yuan's cell phone rang. The person who called was Li Hao. Brother Yuan, I'm already at the airport. Please give me the exact location and I'll come right over. Su Yuan then remembered that Li Hao was coming over. He almost forgot about it, so he quickly said to Dylier Sai Li, I'm sorry, I have to go to the airport to pick up a friend. If you want to ski, go to the ski resort by yourselves. I'll come over after I pick up my friend. Meeting a friend. Dylier thought about it for a while and generously said that he would go together. Since he is your friend, Mr. Su, it is a good opportunity for us to get to know each other. Otherwise, I will go with you. It will be more lively if there are more people. Zhao Qingsu was pregnant and not suitable for running around, so she stayed at home. Ping and Rui hadn't seen Yan Yan for a long time and missed her very much. She insisted on going to pick her up. Su Yuan had no choice but to take the 2 little ones with him. Sally naturally followed. The group of 5 people plus the driver quickly headed to the airport. Chapter 487. So much nonsense, let's go home. Chapter 487. The kids are so cute, tilde. 2 hours later, 5 people showed up at the airport gate to pick someone up. But before they could pick up the person, they were spotted by several people with cameras. The child is pretty and always gets a lot of attention when she goes out. Su Yuan Dilly is used to it, and this time is no exception. Can we take a picture with the kids? The other party quickly asked to take a photo. Su Yuan was a little anxious when he couldn't find Li Hao and Yan Yan for a long time. He was about to leave with the 2 little ones in his arms. I'm really sorry. I'm a little busy now, so I can't take a photo for you. Sir, if we take a photo, it will only take 2 minutes. We are really in a hurry here. How about this? Here is my business card. We are Zhenai Children's Photography Studio. Our studio is not only well known in China, but also well known internationally. If possible, you can contact me when you are free. Su Yuan quickly took the business card and said, Okay, I'll contact you guys when I'm free. Bye. Well, sir, you must remember to contact us. Even after Su Yuan walked away, the other party was still nagging about this matter, which made Su Yuan a little annoyed. I couldn't help but pinch the 2 little ones' cheeks. You 2 little guys are really causing me trouble. Rui pouted, Dad, you are wronging us. It's not our fault that we are good-looking. It's obviously because you and Mom have great genes. Since when did your little mouth become so talkative? Come here quickly and praise your uncle. A dark face suddenly came over, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Su Yuan and Rui were both shocked. Su Yuan was stunned for a moment before he realized that the dark face belonged to Li Hao, but the problem was, he looked the man up and down and was stunned. It's been such a long time since we last met. How come you have a beer belly? In his impression, although Li Hao has become a nanny, he is still the kind of nanny who is handsome and elegant. The person in front of me is so dark and fat. His race is almost changing. Don't mention it. Isn't this because I'm getting old? I'm already in my 30s. It's reasonable for me to be a little fatter, right? Li Hao touched his head and carefully picked up the small flower umbrella in his hand. A slender figure in a floral dress appeared under the flower umbrella. Godfather, good luck, peace. Yan Yan happily came forward and hugged Su Yuan's waist, reaching out to take Ruyi from Su Yuan's arms. Why are you getting cuter and cuter? Did you grow up eating cuteness? Sister Yan Yan is getting more and more beautiful. Let's not talk too much, let's set off quickly. Seeing the kids reminiscing about the past, Li Hao waved his hand and pointed at the large and small bags of luggage beside him. I didn't come here empty-handed this time. I brought a lot of good things. What did you bring? Su Yuan was a little shocked. Li Hao brought luggage that was at least 3 people tall. Who would bring so much luggage when going out for fun? Of course it's a good thing, you'll know when the time comes. I spent a lot of effort to bring it here. It was shipped as cargo, please bear with my hard work. Li Hao went to move the luggage excitedly. The driver quickly told him to stop. I'll do it. Let the driver carry the luggage. I'll introduce Dirie to you. Su Yuan pulled Li Hao in front of Dirie. Prince Dirie of Dubai, this is my friend Li Hao. Prince. Li Hao stared at Dahlia in shock for a moment. He's from Dubai. Doesn't that mean he's very rich? Not necessarily a lot of money, but enough to spend. In response to Li Hao's words, Dahlia answered frankly. Li Hao chuckled. Ha, that's great, but I think when it comes to being rich, no one is as rich as our brother Yuan, right? Go to hell, don't bury me here. Su Yuan pushed Li Hao's arm. Dahlia on this side didn't think Li Hao was joking. Instead, he agreed with what he said. Yes, a prince like me is richer than ordinary people, but definitely not as rich as Mr. Su. When he first met Su Yuan, he didn't know him, but thought that judging from his clothes, he might be rich. But as he got to know Su Yuan more deeply, he discovered that Su Yuan was really rich. At least he, the Prince of Dubai who is recognized by everyone as being rich, is not as wealthy as him. Enough of the nonsense, let's go home. After picking up the person, the driver drove the car and quickly returned to the castle. Although the snow in the Alps never melts all year round, there are times when the weather is good like today. The sky is clear and the sun shines through the white clouds, through the damp and cold air, and onto people, making them feel particularly comfortable. Zhao Qingsu had been busy all day yesterday. Seeing that the weather was so good, she simply had someone move a comfortable recliner to the door, covered herself with a blanket, and lay in the yard to bask in the sun. Godmothers! As soon as the car stopped, Yan Yan couldn't wait to run towards Zhao Qingsu and threw herself into her arms. Yan Yan, be good tilde. Zhao Qingsu was also stunned when he looked at the girl in front of him. When they met last year, she was still chubby and had a baby face. This year, she became slender and light as if a branch had sprouted. I have grown up. Fuck, brother Yuan, you really will never let me down. After seeing the ancient castle, Li Hao, who had just gotten off the car, exclaimed, what kind of heavenly enjoyment is this? When he heard Su Yuan say that he came to the Alps to play, he had the same idea as Dirie's. He thought that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu had lived too much of a good life and wanted to endure some hardships. But he didn't expect that Su Yuan came here to enjoy himself. What kind of enjoyment is this? At best, it's just an experience of life. I've already had the room cleaned. You can move your luggage up first. That's fine. Li Hao nodded and pointed at the 2 boxes next to the luggage. Take these 2 boxes to the guest room for me. As for the rest, ding, 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 ding. He pulled one of the luggage down and packed it, looking at Su Yuan proudly. How is it? Not bad, right? This. Su Yuan looked at the huge grill in front of him and asked, you went to so much trouble to bring this. Cold weather is perfect for barbecue. How can we live without a grill? Li Hao had no idea how weird his behavior was. Let me tell you, brother Yuan, I brought not only the grill but also spices. Look, chili powder from Gansu, cumin powder from Anji. Chapter 488 well said. It is actually very simple. Chapter 488. It's not like you can't buy these things. Why did you bring so many things? Su Yuan was a little amused. Brother Yuan, you don't know. Li Hao looked at Su Yuan with a sad face. Yan Yan has become more and more picky about food recently. She doesn't like to eat much. I even cook for her myself, but I still see her getting thinner day by day. I'm really worried. My hair is almost turning white with worry. Not really. Su Yuan glanced at Yan Yan, who was talking to Zhao Qingsu. She was indeed thinner, but her complexion was good, and she didn't look malnourished. As for, Li Hao still had a frown on his face. Your chubby face was so cute before, but now, it's completely different now. How can a little girl stay chubby when she grows up? Su Yuan smiled helplessly. Aren't you afraid that she will never get married? If I can't get married, I'll support myself. Even if you are willing to raise her, she may not be willing. Thinking of Ruyi's answer yesterday, Su Yuan gritted his teeth. Ruyi is just a little girl, but she already has her own ideas. She is an ungrateful person who can never be tamed. Yes, ungrateful bastard. The two cursed indignantly for a few words, and when their eyes met, Su Yuan asked, "Who are you calling an ungrateful wolf?" Li Hao was a little confused. "Whoever you scold, I'll scold too. I am the only one who can scold my daughter." Su Yuan glared at Li Hao and said, "If you call my daughter an ungrateful person again, I will kick you out and make you sleep in the snow." After being scolded by Su Yuan, the confused Li Hao could only raise his hands in surrender. Come on, come on. After talking for so long, it turns out that it's my fault. I won't say such things in the future, okay?" After finishing his daughter's topic, Li Hao began to think about what to eat tonight. He talked about the mutton in Xinjiang and the yak meat in Qinghai. For beef and mutton, you have to look at those from the grasslands. What were those I ate in the capital? I haven't had a good meal for a long time, so I brought a grill with me. So, what does the grill have to do with Xinjiang lamb? Su Yuan raised his eyebrows. With a grill, can't we grill lamb? Where does the mutton come from? Mutton. Li Hao suddenly realized that he had actually forgotten about the mutton. This is the most important thing. It's over. He jumped up and down. I forgot about this. How about I call my friend in China and ask him to send it over? This place is not too far away. It will arrive in 2 days if shipped by air. I'll call him now. Su Yuan grabbed his arm and said, "Why do you need to go? There are sheep everywhere. I have some lambs raised by the villagers nearby. You can make do with them." A lamb raised by a nearby villager. Li Hao looked at Su Yuan suspiciously. Is that a real sheep? How can the sheep not be tight? Whether it is tight or not, it will not affect our eating. Su Yuan felt that the taste was similar. Although the lambs here were not as fragrant as the lamb in Xinjiang, they were also raised on natural pastures and had their own unique flavor. Hey, I worked so hard to carry the grill from China. If the mutton is not worthy of my grill, I won't let you grill it. Seeing that Su Yuan didn't care at all, Li Hao ran to the housekeeper angrily and asked him when he would slaughter the sheep today. The lambs in the backyard of the castle were all bought from nearby villagers. Since there was grassland near the castle, they were not in a hurry to kill them. They just killed one after eating and kept the rest on the grassland behind the castle. Seeing that Li Hao was interested in the sheep, the housekeeper took him to the sheepfold at the back and said, "All the sheep are here. Which one do you want to kill tonight?" Although a sheep was just slaughtered last night, apart from the meat needed for cooking for Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, and others, the rest was made into staff meals. Matilda. As soon as they saw Li Hao coming, the children who were originally concentrating on eating grass turned their heads and looked at him, staring at him curiously with their big black eyes. Looks pretty lively. Li Hao rubbed his hands. Where's the knife? I'll kill him myself tonight. Looking at his expensive down jacket, the housekeeper smiled bitterly. Isn't this inappropriate? The chefs here are all professionals and are very good at slaughtering sheep. Why don't we let the chef do it? To be honest, after working as a butler for so many years, this was the first time he heard such a bizarre request. Kill it yourself. Even though sheep are much weaker than cows and horses, it still takes 2 people to hold a sheep down. And it is best to cut the sheep quickly, accurately, and ruthlessly, killing it with 1 blow to ensure the quality of the mutton and prevent the sheep from dying of fright and the meat from turning sour. I'm professional too. A man's desire to win always comes inexplicably. When Li Hao heard the butler say that he was unprofessional, he immediately became unhappy. He didn't care about the low temperature here. He took off his coat and handed it to the butler and asked him to bring the knife. Seeing that he couldn't persuade him, the housekeeper had to call the chef and asked him to catch a sheep and bring it to the kitchen. In order to show his expertise, Li Hao personally tied up the sheep's limbs with hemp rope and then pulled the chef next to him to share his thoughts. How do you kill sheep here? Although he didn't know why he asked that, the chef still answered honestly. We tie up the sheep here, cut their throats to let the blood out, tie a knot in the stomach tube, and finally insert a tube between the skin and flesh of the sheep's legs to blow up the sheep so that we can skin it smoothly. After skinning, we hang the sheep upside down and remove the internal organs. In this way, the sheep is completely killed. They have been killing people this way for many years. The latter steps are fine, but the former steps are unprofessional. Although he had never slaughtered a sheep himself, Li Hao thought it was not difficult to do it after thinking about the sheep slaughtering videos he had seen before, so he started to brag. In this day and age, we should all be humanitarian in everything we do, right? Cutting the throat and bleeding it takes too long, and it's just a little lamb, so it's too cruel to do this. I have a more efficient way to slaughter a sheep. Would you like to listen to it? Please go ahead. Even though he didn't want to listen to Li Hao's nonsense anymore, he was still Su Yuan's guest, and the butler was very respectful to him, so the chef could only stand there and listen to him bragging. It's actually very simple to say, but there are many tricks involved in doing it. Let me show you. Li Hao was very pleased with the chef's and housekeeper's attentive listening attitude, and he casually took out a small, sharp knife from the shelf. Look, let's make a small incision on the sheep's neck first. As he spoke, he stabbed the sheep's neck with a sharp knife. Then, just as Li Hao was about to reach his hand into the small mouth and cut the sheep's trachea in one fell swoop, blood suddenly spurted out of the small mouth. At the same time, the little lamb whose 4 feet were tied suddenly burst out with tremendous strength, broke free from the rope, jumped up and ran. Chapter 489, Let's Go. Let's ignore him. Chapter 489. Generally speaking, when slaughtering sheep, the door is closed tightly to prevent the sheep's cries from being heard and causing discomfort to the owner. But today, something unexpected happened with Li Hao, and they forgot to close the door. The chef was standing far from the door, and standing at the door was only the butler, a pampered, middle-aged, bald man. So the little lamb with a knife cut on its neck actually managed to run away successfully. Li Hao was shocked. He didn't expect the little lamb to be so strong that it could run so fast even after being stabbed. It's totally different from what we saw in his video. The chef was shocked too. He didn't expect that Li Hao had been bragging for so long, but in the end, he actually let the sheep run away. The sheep ran away when he was slaughtering it. Even when he was an apprentice, this kind of thing had never happened. The housekeeper was even more confused. Was that a sheep? Where did he go? Li Hao asked with some trembling, then explained with a blushing face. It was an accident just now. I originally wanted to make a small incision on the sheep's neck, then reach in and cut off its trachea, causing massive bleeding in the abdominal cavity and causing it to die quickly, but I didn't expect such an accident to happen. Well, I haven't killed a sheep for a long time, so my skills are not so good. He thought silently. I haven't watched the video for a long time, so I am indeed rusty at it. I will go back and review it again. Okay, sir, I fully understand your idea, but now can you please step aside and let me catch the sheep back? Oh, sure. Li Hao silently stepped aside and chased after the chef. Fortunately, the castle was quite large, and the little lamb did not run far despite its pain and was quickly caught. It did not scare Zhao Qingsu and others, but 2 cleaning maids screamed in fear. Su Yuan heard the scream and walked over, and saw the little lamb being held in the chef's hands, struggling and bleeding. He frowned immediately. Killing sheep like this. My pot. Seeing that Su Yuan was a little angry, Li Hao came over and quickly took the blame on himself. I missed it. Su Yuan never thought that it was Li Hao who did this. 3 big question marks appeared on his head. In the end, he could only pull him to the living room with a gloomy face. Please behave yourself. What's so interesting about killing a sheep? I'll take you to see your room. Li Hao also felt that killing the sheep was not something he could do, so he coughed and said, Well, I'll leave the matter of killing the sheep to you. I'm quite busy right now. Only then did he quickly go to see the room with Su Yuan. Although it is a guest room, the area is not small at all. Li Hao's luggage had been put in the room. In the room, Zhao Qingsu was packing the small suitcase that Yan Yan brought. Seeing Su Yuan and Li Hao coming in, she couldn't help but complain a few words. I'm not saying anything bad about you, but it's so cold here. In addition to the down jacket, you didn't even bring thicker tights for Yan Yan? How can you let Yan Yan go out to play in these clothes? Don't let him get frostbite. I'll go out and buy some thick clothes for Yan Yan later. It doesn't need to be so troublesome, does it? Zhao Qingsu rolled her eyes, didn't want to talk anymore, and got up to go out to buy thick clothes for Yan Yan. Li Hao didn't care. He just lay down comfortably on the bed, resting his hands on the back of his head. He was very calm. Finally, there is someone who can take care of Yan Yan. I am so tired of taking care of her all day long. Then why don't you find another one? Can't you be Yan Yan's stepmother? To be honest, he never expected that Li Hao would go from being a playboy to a loyal father just for Yan Yan. Isn't there a saying that goes, a dog will always eat shit? Stepmother, my own mother treated me like that. How dare I find a stepmother for Yan Yan? You must know the story of Snow White, right? Li Hao's words choked Su Yuan speechless. Dad, you are so backward in your thinking. How can there be so many evil stepmothers? They are all lies in fairy tales. My friend's stepmother treated her very well, no worse than her biological mother. Yan Yan popped up out of nowhere and retorted, so I think. You can feel what you feel. I don't want you to feel what I feel. Li Hao was a little speechless. He had worked so hard to be single for so long that his arms were so thin, but he didn't expect that she would not appreciate it. Why are you still here? Didn't your godmother take you to buy clothes? My godmother said it was too cold outside, and I didn't have any thick clothes, so she wouldn't let me go out and told me to play in the hall. Yanyan sighed, but Pingyan and Ruyi went outside to play in the snow. I'm so bored staying in the hall alone. As she spoke, she walked in and came close to Su Yuan. Godfather, I'm going to tell you a secret. What's the secret? The person who spoke was Li Hao. He also came over and said, Your father has been with you for such a long time, but you didn't tell him your secrets. It's true that a girl can't be kept back when she grows up. This secret has nothing to do with you. Yanyan rolled her eyes and whispered to Su Yuan, Let me tell you, you are the dream man of many girls in our class, even my friends. Yeah. Su Yuan laughed when he heard this so-called secret. Why do you girls have such strange tastes now? Although Su Yuan has not changed much in appearance, he is now a father of 3 children, and he is over 30 years old, so he has long classified himself as an uncle. He didn't expect that he would be liked by such a young girl. This was something he had not expected. Aren't the ones that little girls like the bad and naughty boys? Hey, Godfather, don't look at me like that. I'm telling the truth. I'm not kidding. Besides, I know what you're thinking. You're not trying to say that we're superficial and only like little hooligans. Bang! Before Yanyan could finish her words, Li Hao slapped her in the face and said, Don't like little hooligans. I didn't say I like punks, I just said we don't like them now. Yanyan covered her head with her hands, feeling very aggrieved. Su Yuan felt distressed when he saw this. He reached out his hand to help rub Yanyan's forehead and scolded Li Hao. Look at how you treat the child. Besides, weren't you a gangster yourself before? Now you look down on gangsters. His words made Li Hao anxious. I wasn't a gangster before, I was a playboy, you know? A playboy. Let's go, let's ignore him. Su Yuan was too lazy to argue with him. Godfather will take you to the castle. Chapter 490, this is not clear. Chapter 490. Hey, you guys are leaving now without me. Li Hao quickly jumped up from the bed and was planning to chase Su Yuan, but the bed creaked suddenly, which scared him a lot. He looked back at the bed, put his hand on it and patted it, confirming that it was indeed the bed that made the sound. He immediately said to Su Yuan in a bad mood, I say you should change this bed, it's almost broken. What if the bed collapses while I'm sleeping at night? The bed collapsed. Su Yuan glanced at him and said slowly, You just have to compensate me. Are you being reasonable? The bed collapsed because of its quality. I'm lucky enough that I didn't cause you any trouble. You actually want compensation from me. Are you trying to cheat me? No way. This bed is hundreds of years old. It didn't collapse when others slept on it, but it collapsed when you slept on it. Is it my problem or yours? Hundreds of years of history. Li Hao was stunned for a moment. I believe your castle has hundreds of years of history, but isn't it too much to say that this bed has hundreds of years of history? After all, the castle is made of stone bricks. After hundreds of years of wind and rain, the bricks are still stone bricks, and it is impossible for them to melt. But this bed is just made of wood after all. Isn't it too much that it is still in common use after hundreds of years? Why don't you find an expert to come and identify it first, so that you won't accuse me of cheating you later? Forget the experts, I have this. Li Hao took out his mobile phone and shook it, then opened the image recognition software and started searching. 5 minutes later, he looked at the price quote on his phone's screen, froze for a moment, and suddenly turned around, carefully smoothed out the wrinkled sheets, and earnestly apologized to the bed. Grandpa, I am sorry for rude you. Who would have thought that such an old-looking bed not only experienced the baptism of World War I and World War II, but also witnessed countless pieces of history, and is actually 500 years old. The current offer is tens of millions. A true antique. You don't have a fever. Su Yuan was speechless when he saw his weird look. If you really regard her as your ancestor, I will match you with her and you can just marry her. Forget it, just worship the ancestors. Li Hao waved his hands, but he still felt a little sad when talking about this bed. Brother Yuan, you really don't care about it. You use such an old antique to sleep on it. Then what are you going to do with it? Put it in the storeroom. But the storeroom is underground, cold, and damp. If you put it in the storeroom, the bed will really break down within 2 years. If you put it somewhere else, it will get in the way. We can only put it in its original position in the room. I said, why are you so stupid? Li Hao wanted to grab Su Yuan by the collar to sober him up. I mean, take it to an auction. Such a good thing that is well preserved and has a clear historical origin. As long as you take it to an auction house, there will be many people scrambling for it. How much can it fetch at the auction? It can be sold for tens of millions. Li Hao sighed, I've worked hard for 3 or 4 years and only earned this much. It's enough for you to just sell something casually. Isn't that good enough? Su Yuan ignored him, turned around, took Yan Yan's hand and left. In the evening, the weather was clear. Although there was still a chill in the air, the chill was mixed with the fresh scent of grass, which made people feel relaxed and happy. Since Li Hao was obsessed with grilled lamb skewers, Su Yuan had someone clean up the terrace on the castle, light a bonfire, set up a grill, and build a long table. On the long table were marinated and skewered meat and vegetables, as well as a variety of drinks. A group of people came to the terrace to enjoy the sunset over the snow-capped mountains and started grilling skewers around the campfire. The mutton is turned over on the charcoal fire and roasted with a sizzling smell. Sprinkle a handful of cumin powder and chili powder on it at this time, and the aroma will instantly come out. Originally, Ping'an and Ruyi's children were chasing and playing together, but when they smelled the fragrance, they immediately came over and looked at it eagerly. Their looks pleased Li Hao, who was grilling skewers. It seems you guys are very knowledgeable. Wait, it's not cooked yet. I'll give it to you when it's cooked. As she spoke, she began to sing a little song in a cocky way. Lift up your veil, let me see your face. Dad. He had only sung a few lines when Yan Yan grabbed his clothes and said, Can we stop singing? If you keep singing like this, I won't dare recognize you when I go out in the future. Hey, what are you talking about? As the saying goes, a son will never dislike his mother's ugliness, and a dog will never dislike his family's poverty. How dare you dislike your father's bad singing? Don't talk about her anymore. I can't stand listening to the song you sing. Zhao Qingsu looked at him, with difficulty describing what she was saying. You really don't know how to appreciate it. Li Hao coughed and said, Come on, the lamb skewers are ready. Come and have a taste of my cooking skills. I tell you, my cooking skills are worth at least $1 million. If someone wants to learn from me, I won't teach him. Although Li Hao was not a very reliable person, the lamb skewers he grilled were really delicious. The children gathered around him. He grilled a batch of lamb and gave it to the children until the children were full. Then he passed the skewers to Su Yuan and asked him to share them with the adults. Su Yuan gave half of the skewers to Zhao Qingsu and the remaining half to Dailier. Zhao Qingsu smiled and shared the skewers with Salami, who was sitting quietly next to her. Originally, she was embarrassed to come to such a party, but Zhao Qingsu insisted on dragging her over. Seeing that Dailier didn't say anything to her, she just sat quietly beside him. She thought it was great to be able to sit here and feel the lively atmosphere, but she didn't expect that she would get a share of the food. She was a little flattered. Thank you, I only need one string. Don't you like lamb kebabs? Zhao Qingsu was a little confused, but seeing Salami's cautious expression, she immediately understood something and gave her most of the mutton skewers in her hand. It's so cold, whether you like it or not, eat some. Only when you are full can you keep warm. Thanks. Today I went to a nearby village for a stroll. I have to say, although the village here is small, there are quite a lot of people. Dailier chewed on a kebab. Besides, they are going to hold a skiing competition these 2 days. It's a tradition here. The competition for adults has already passed. These days are for the children. I have asked Sai Li to participate. Ping and Ruyi, do you want to go? Contest. Ruyi's eyes lit up immediately and she showed great interest. A special skiing competition? Are there prizes? That's unclear. Dailier was in a good mood and casually took off a Rolex watch from his wrist. However, if you get a good ranking, this will be my prize. Chapter 491, but I haven't had breakfast yet. Chapter 491. Very good. Seeing the Rolex in Dailier's hand, Ruyi's eyes lit up and she was very interested. My father doesn't have this watch yet. Of course, this is a classic custom-made Rolex watch. There is no other watch like it in the world. When Deary said this, there was still a lot of pride in his tone. After all, Rolex is a recognized luxury watch brand. An ordinary watch costs tens of thousands, not to mention the high-end series. It is common to spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on a watch. His watch is a custom-made Rolex, and his name is implied in the ingenious design on the inside of the dial. It is not uncommon to see watches worth hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Anyone with a little money can buy one. Ordinary local bosses wear them to show off. But if you want tailor-made products from such a big brand, in addition to proof of your assets, you also need sufficient identity. Otherwise, don't even think about customization. He was very satisfied to see that Rui was so knowledgeable at such a young age. But Rui's next words stumped him. My father has a whole room full of watches. He likes collecting them very much. I want to participate in the competition. If I win a watch, I will give it to my father as a collection. Dylier was silent for a moment and couldn't help asking, Your father has a room full of watches. What brands are they? There are all kinds of brands, and many are very beautiful, costing hundreds of dollars. Rui said excitedly, Why do kids talk so much? Although Rui may not mean to show off, and what she said was the truth, Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan felt a little embarrassed. I didn't expect that you, Mr. Su, also have a hobby of collecting watches. Dylier looked towards Su Yuan. Rich people all have some collecting hobbies, and it is not uncommon for them to like collecting watches. It's just that people who like to collect watches generally love to wear watches. But Su Yuan's wrists are clean, and the only decoration on his body is a pair of pure gold cufflinks on his suit jacket. The cufflinks are simple in style, and nothing special about them. Don't listen to what the kid says. I don't have a hobby of collecting. I just bought a watch casually while shopping one time and filled out a VIP customer form. Later, their sales staff called me every day to sell me watches. I don't know when other brands also got my phone number. Su Yuan gave a bitter smile, obviously helpless about this kind of thing. I originally planned to reject all of them. After all, a watch is nice to wear. But my wife thinks the designs of those watches are good, so she made a room for them. Occasionally, she would pick a watch to match my clothes, so it's not really a hobby. You collected a whole room of watches just to match your clothes. After hearing this, Dylier, who has a bit of a collecting habit, was immediately heartbroken and lamented. What a waste! What a waste! What else? Su Yuan asked him back. What kind of hobby is collecting watches? Not really. Dylier sighed and asked curiously, Collecting watches is not considered a hobby, then what is your hobby, Mr. Su? Collecting antiques? Or buying castles all over the world? Is spoiling your wife considered a hobby? This answer made Dylier a little stunned. He looked at Li Hao, but saw that Li Hao had an expression of being accustomed to it, as if he had eaten too much dog food and was full. Even food can't stop your mouth. Zhao Qingsu stuffed a skewer of lamb into his mouth with some anger, then stood up and joined the barbecue army. The few of them had a delicious barbecue and played a fun little game called Who is the Undercover for a while. After the bonfire went out, they went back to their rooms to sleep. Li Hao drank a little and was a little drunk. After being helped to the room by Su Yuan, he hugged the bed and started to perform. My dear ancestor, I'm sorry, I have to sleep with you tonight, and I hope you don't blame me. After saying that, he pulled aside the mattress on the bed and kissed the bed hard. Su Yuan was speechless. Seeing him drooling over the bed, she couldn't help but say to the housekeeper beside her, Remember, when he sobers up tomorrow morning, ask him to pay for the damage to the bed. Oh, yes. After getting up the next day, since everyone liked skiing, Deary took us to a nearby village. Li Hao was the last one to get up. He patted his head and felt a splitting headache. As soon as he went out, the housekeeper asked him to sign the bill, but he didn't even look at it and signed his name without knowing why. After seeing clearly what he was signing for damages, his eyes widened. What did I do last night? Why are you charging me 100,000 yuan? Please look. The housekeeper didn't waste any time talking to him. He just lifted up the bed legs and showed him the dried water stains and teeth marks on them. Li Hao was stunned for a moment. I did it. Yes. He coughed and quickly ran to the living room, where everyone had just finished breakfast and were ready to go. Only Li Hao was there, disheveled and wearing pajamas. It's so cold, what are you doing? Dad, you are so forgetful. We clearly agreed to go watch the skiing competition together today, and Rui and Ping'an have already decided to participate in the competition. I want to go and cheer for Ping'an and Rui. Yanyan had already changed into the complete set of equipment that Zhao Qingsu bought for her. Although she didn't know how to ski, she was still excited to join in the fun when she saw everyone else going. The only person who didn't want to go was Li Hao. I finally got a holiday, and I thought I could have a good rest here, but I didn't expect. Li Hao covered his chest in grief. Forget it. If you want to go, you can go by yourselves. I will rest at home anyway. I don't want to go out in such a cold day. Dad, we are all going. Are you the only one not going? Yanyan grabbed Li Hao's clothes and said, Didn't you tell me to get along with others before? Why did you change now? But, hurry up and change your clothes so we can all set off together. Su Yuan looked at his magnificent belly and decided to take him out with him. If you continue to be so lazy, you will have high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and high blood pressure. Li Hao made a faint protest, But I haven't had breakfast yet. I'll bring you some bread to eat on the way. We'll go to the village for lunch. Chapter 492 Dad, I want a two. Chapter 492. Although Li Hao was reluctant, the group quickly arrived at a nearby village. Although this is just a small village, it is obvious that the conditions in this small village should not be bad. Every household in the village has built a small villa with its own yard, and the construction style is quite tasteful. I asked around and found out that in addition to the indigenous people, there are also many people who came here to retire after hearing that the environment here is good. As we walked, Dirier introduced the situation in the village. When we heard that rich people came here to retire, we thought that the conditions in this village were normal. Zhao Qingsu was very satisfied with this place. Although this place is a little cold, the air and scenery are quite good, and the people are very warm. It should be nice to live here for retirement, right? I think it's totally wrong to retire here. Aren't you afraid of getting arthritis in such a cold weather? If you really want to retire well, you should go to the ancient towns in our country. Not only are the scenery and environment good, but most importantly, the temperature is suitable in all seasons. Li Hao shook his head and grabbed Su Yuan's shoulders, the biscuit foam in his mouth spraying everywhere. Brother Yuan, when we get old, let's find a place to live together in seclusion. Let's build a large tea garden of several thousand square meters, grow tea and raise flowers. Isn't that the best way to live in old age? You're only 30, and you're already thinking about your later years. Su Yuan quickly pushed him away, fearing that the biscuit foam in his mouth would spray onto his face. If you keep eating like this, you probably won't make it to old age. Not really. What do you think? As they were talking, they had already arrived at the competition venue in the village. Maybe there was not much entertainment in the village, so everyone was very enthusiastic when there was such a large-scale event. Even adults who could not participate came to watch the fun. Therefore, the village is bustling. There were not many outsiders in the village, so Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, and the others were quite eye-catching. Although everyone looked very curious, most of them were kind. Many people even came over to them and enthusiastically asked for a photo when they saw their good looks. After finally getting rid of these enthusiastic villagers, Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, and others came to the registration group for the skiing competition. Although this competition is organized by several nearby villages, the management is actually quite loose, and you can register 1 hour before the competition. But most people had already registered in advance, because when Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu went there were only a few people at the registration area, and even the staff had already run over to watch the fun. It was the cleaning lady in the office who called the staff in. The staff member in charge of registration was a blonde lady. Although she was fat, her smile was particularly bright. Are you going to sign up for this competition? She looked at everyone with a smile. Her eyes fell on Yan Yan. Although this competition was only between children, because there were too many people participating, and the competition venue was relatively casual, most parents did not allow children who were too young to participate. Currently, the youngest participant in the competition was 8 years old. Among Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, and the others, only Yan Yan is a little older. After feeling the aunt's gaze, Yan Yan shook her head proudly, then pulled out Ping and Rui. I want to sign up my brothers and sisters for this competition. You? The aunt was stunned for a moment. Isn't this too small? Is it not possible if you are young? Of course you can. The aunt hesitated for a moment. Our competition this time is mainly for entertainment, so there is no strict age limit for the contestants. But you don't seem to be from our village, so I need to tell you in advance that the ski track in our village is quite complicated. Even professional contestants have to familiarize themselves with the venue in advance because there are many slopes and obstacles, which are quite dangerous. It's quite dangerous. Do you want to join us? After hearing this, Su Yuan became a little worried, fearing that the 2 little guys wouldn't be able to handle it. But Ping En was determined to participate. Sai Li already signed up yesterday, so I want to sign up too. Dad, I want one too. Seeing that the 2 little guys insisted, Su Yuan agreed. Although Zhao Qingsu was very worried, she agreed after Su Yuan guaranteed that nothing would happen to the 2 little guys. After registering the 2 little guys, the staff member was really worried that something might happen to the 2 cute little guys, so she took the little guys aside and told them a lot of things to pay attention to during the race. She also took out the race map and explained to the little guys in detail where there would be obstacles and so on. It was obvious that she liked the 2 little guys very much. After making sure that the 3 little ones understood, she led them to the special track. Adults like Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu went to the viewing area. There shouldn't be anyone who wants to sign up now, right? After bringing the three little ones to the competition venue, the staff member muttered to himself and went to chat with his friends irresponsibly. However, she brought the three little ones to the stadium and attracted a lot of people's attention, because the three little ones he brought over were more delicate than the other, and each one is younger than the other. Are you participating in a ski competition at such a young age? Some people couldn't help but question, don't we have age limits for ski competitions? Who knew there would be such a young child signing up? The blonde staff member also gave a bitter smile, but soon stopped caring about the matter. Anyway, these three kids should have just started skiing for a short time. Everyone will give way to them. Nothing should happen. Even if something happens, we can rescue them immediately. There are so many people watching the game, and everyone knows how to ski. In fact, skiing in the village can be said to be a national sport. Because this area is covered with thick snow most of the year, modern means of transportation are not as comfortable as skiing. So people usually bring their own skis when visiting friends or delivering gifts. That's true. After discussing the ages of the two little guys, they quickly shifted their attention to the topic of who would win the championship this year. Last year's champion and the champion of the year before yesterday are not participating this year. The guy I am most optimistic about winning is that Bruin kid. Brun, he is indeed a very fast skier, but he has participated in skiing competitions for several years, and every time he has an accident and can't get a good ranking. So I am more optimistic about Millen. Millen is too slow, I don't think it's okay. Chapter 493, what do you mean? Chapter 493. There are so many participants in the skiing competition this year. Almost all the children from the nearby towns are here. I wonder who will win the championship this year. Most of the people watching the game were also talking about this issue. And in this warm atmosphere, the game officially began. According to the number plates they received, 5 people started on the track every 5 minutes. Ping En, Rui, and Sai Li were the last few to sign up and happened to set off in the last wave. As soon as the 3 little carrots appeared, the surrounding stadium immediately became lively. Why are there still such young children participating in the competition? There is no age limit for participating in the competition. It is just a recreational competition. The most important thing is to participate. Speaking of which, these 3 children are too delicate, aren't they? Yes, these 3 children are not from our town, and I don't know which country they are from. The little ones received a lot of attention because of their age and appearance, but their attention was focused on the track. Sai Li did not forget to give Rui a heads up. Rui, although I know you really want my father's watch, I don't think you can beat me. Don't cry if you don't get a good ranking. I won't cry. In our country, there is a saying that goes, if you lose a bet, you must accept the result. Rui also struck a pose, but a confident smile soon appeared on her face. Oh, and I don't think I will lose to you. Then wait and see. Let's wait and see. Hey. It seems like the two of us don't take me seriously at all. To be honest, Ping En, who was standing next to them, saw the 2 people betting as if they were the only ones around, completely ignoring himself, and started looking for a sense of existence. But soon 2 white eyes flew over. Sai Li and Rui curled their lips almost at the same time. Just you. Although Ping En is indeed very talented in swimming, it has to be said that he has no talent at all in skiing. He came to participate in the skiing competition just to join in the fun. The 2 little guys did not even regard him as an opponent. Hey, you guys are going too far. Ping En originally wanted to refute, but then you saw Sai Li and Rui flying out like arrows. The game has begun. Why don't you wait for me? Why are you so disloyal? Ping En chased after him reluctantly. He originally thought that the gap wouldn't be too big. After all, he had studied skiing hard in the past 2 days. Although he couldn't ski very smoothly yet, he had actually gotten pretty good at it. But after sliding for about 5 minutes, he realized that he had taken things for granted. I can't catch up at all. The figures of Sai Li and Rui in front of him had completely disappeared from his sight. Look, those 2 kids are so fast. I didn't expect these 2 little guys to have such good skills. I underestimated them before. This kid really skates well. He's already as good as I was back then. You're just bragging. When you were this old, you were still wrestling in the snow. Don't think I don't know. There's no need to tear down my stage for this kind of thing. Originally, everyone thought the little ones were cute, but because they were too young, no one paid much attention to them. However, as Sai Li and Rui competed, they gradually attracted the attention of most spectators. Oh, she's worthy of being my goddaughter. She's really awesome. Li Hao had a piece of biscuit in his mouth that he hadn't finished eating. At first, He had no interest in watching this game and planned to find a place to sit down and keep warm. But who knew the game would be so exciting? This allowed him to squeeze through the crowd and start watching the game. When I saw Rui and Saley speeding on the track, I couldn't help but scream. A man next to him looked at him strangely after hearing what he said. After a long while, he couldn't help but ask, "What did you just say? Are those two girls your daughters?" His Chinese is not very good, and he only heard the word daughter in what Li Hao said just now. It was unbelievable to think that the father of these two cute little girls was actually a fat black man. Li Hao didn't understand what he meant. Thinking that a goddaughter is also a daughter, he nodded proudly and replied in English, "Of course she is my daughter, but the older one is not, the younger one is." What? After hearing his confirmation, the man's eyes widened even more, as if he had seen a ghost. "Such a beautiful girl is actually your daughter." "Hey, what do you mean by that? Do you look down on me?" Li Hao finally realized that there was something wrong with the man's words and said unhappily, "I was also a handsome man, okay? And you can't judge a person by their appearance. What's important is their inner qualities. Do you understand their inner qualities?" "I understand." The man looked at him sympathetically, reached out and patted his shoulder. "Although that's what you said, I think it would be better for you to do a paternity test if you have time, maybe." He struggled to find a way out for Li Hao. Maybe they took the wrong baby in the hospital back then. This competition has more participants than previous years. Although the champions and runners-up of previous years did not participate in this competition, the competition is still very exciting. Now we can see that most of the contestants have reached the finish line with their good results. However, there is a saying that goes, "The voice of an old phoenix is clearer than that of a young phoenix." Now we can see that the youngest contestant on the track, Rui, who is less than 5 years old, has reached the finish line with 500 meters left. She is competing fiercely with another contestant who is equally young. Who will win in the end is still to be seen. The host, riding in a helicopter and equipped with professional equipment, broadcast the game live from the air in 360 degrees without any blind spots. As the results group continued to receive news, he quickly noticed Rui and Saley. Ping and Rui and Sai Li had already attracted a lot of attention because of their age and appearance. Let's not talk about Ping now. The competition between Rui and Saley has become a beautiful scenery on the field. After a fierce competition, the two crossed the finish line almost at the same time. Rui 5 minutes 6 seconds 37, Saley 5 minutes 8 seconds 42. Soon, the staff who were in charge of counting the results at the finish line read out Saley and Rui's final results under everyone's expectation. Upon hearing this result, which was both expected and unexpected, the audience was shocked. Chapter 494, What is a Pity That She is a Girl? Chapter 494. This result is horrible. Although it's still 1 second behind the last champion, isn't the contestant too young? He's already so talented at such a young age. He's a genius. A group of people were discussing Rui and Saley's results. As I said, maybe this result is not the best in all previous skiing competitions, but if this result is placed on Rui and Saley, it would be too terrifying. Even if he is a world champion in skiing competitions, he can't be so amazing at this age, right? I declare that the champion of this competition is Rui. The third place in this competition is Sai Li. The third place in this competition is... After Ping En was the last one to reach the finish line, the staff there counted all the results. That little girl is actually the champion of this competition. Her grades are so good, isn't it normal for her to be the champion? You're already so good at this age. You'll definitely be a world-class skiing darling in the future. I'll go over and get a photo and autograph. Maybe in a dozen years I can show it off. It won't take more than 10 years. I think 8 to 10 years will be enough. I want an autograph too. Amid the enthusiastic support of the crowd, the two little guys were surrounded by the people in the audience just after they received the trophy. "You guys are so cute. Can you give us an autograph? Can I take a photo with you, Auntie? I want to take a photo too." Faced with everyone's enthusiasm, Rui was a little uncomfortable. She widened her beautiful eyes and looked for Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu in the crowd. Fortunately, I found it quickly. She quickly pushed through the crowd and ran towards Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu with her short legs. The little girl was wearing a pink down jacket with a circle of white fur on the hood, which made her face look pink and pretty. She was so adorable running towards Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu that no one wanted to stop her. The only thing we can do is that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu can actually give birth to such a beautiful and lovely daughter. May I ask how you raise your children? Can you tell me the secret to training children to ski? When did they start skiing, and how long have they been skiing now? As soon as they saw Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu appear, everyone began to ask about parenting tips with envy and eagerness. But Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu originally didn't want to answer. But everyone's attitude is so enthusiastic. So Su Yuan picked up Rui and answered everyone's questions briefly. Of course, raising children should be done in a free-range manner. Children can learn whatever they want to learn. As for the secret of skiing, I won't hide it from you, my wife doesn't know how to ski at all, and I'm just a dabbler. Our daughter probably has a natural balance. She only learned to ski for a few days. Everyone was asking questions with great interest, but after hearing Su Yuan's answer, they all fell silent for a second. Damn, everyone gives birth to children. So why are the children so different from each other? Those of them who have lived near the Alps all year round and used skiing as their means of transportation have not given birth to such outstanding offspring. But other people's children are born with it. This is simply the result of comparing yourself to others and getting pissed off. However, everyone was silent for only a second and soon accepted this fact. After all, although everyone wants to be a genius, there are really too few of them. It is already a good fortune for them to be fortunate enough to witness the birth of a genius in their lifetime. How can they demand that a genius be born in their own family? Because everyone's requests quickly turned into taking photos and signing autographs. As for autographs, there are too many of you here. If I ask everyone to sign, my daughter probably won't be able to go home tonight. It's also troublesome to take photos with just one person. Why don't we take a group photo together? Zhao Qingsu proposed a solution with a wry smile. Everyone knew that what she said made sense, so they all nodded and agreed to this matter. Soon everyone took a group photo. After the group photo was taken, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu each held one of their children and joined the bonfire party with singing and dancing in the village. It was not until the evening that everyone returned to the castle. Here, this watch is yours. After returning to the castle, Sally personally packed the Rolex that Deary had agreed to buy and handed it to Rui. Although she also wanted to win Rui, she also accepted the defeat. But after all, it was his own thing, and he was reluctant to give it up after losing to Rui, so he reminded Rui, "Don't think that just because you won this watch, it will be yours forever. I will practice hard when I get home, and I will compete with you again when I go out to play with you in the future. If I beat you, you must return it to me then." Rui hugged the box tightly in her hand. "Okay, when I get back I will put this watch in the big cabinet at home and wait for you to win it back. Then it's a deal. It's a deal." Seeing the two little ones getting along so well, Dailier was also very pleased. He glanced at Su Yuan and said, "You really gave birth to a talented daughter. From the moment you saw your two children, I knew they were definitely very smart, but I didn't expect that both of them were geniuses. Rui is so talented in skiing. If she is trained well, she will definitely shine in international competitions. It's a pity she is a girl." He said this and sighed heavily, obviously very regretful. Su Yuan twitched his lips and quickly hugged Rui to protect her. "What do you mean it's a pity that she's a girl? Regardless of whether she is a boy or a girl, if she wants to enter the international arena, I will definitely support her." After staying in the castle for a few months, and having played in almost all the places nearby, Zhao Qingsu has become accustomed to the climate here. Her favorite thing to do every day is to sit by the big window in the living room, covered with a blanket and warming herself by the fire. Her belly is now 8 or 9 months old and is very obvious. Although her movements are not restricted, she is still very tired. So except for the fixed activities every day, she basically lies in a chair and does not move much. "Wife, I have asked someone to pack up everything. We will go home tomorrow." That day, after Zhao Qingsu woke up from her nap, Su Yuan gently scratched her nose and then pointed to the packed suitcases in the living room. Chapter 495, I'm really suffocating. Chapter 495, leaving tomorrow. Zhao Qingsu had been quite happy playing and fighting here every day, but suddenly she had to go back, which made her a little confused. Of course, Su Yuan was somewhat helpless. How else can we live here forever? Besides, isn't Chi Han's birthday coming up? Every year on her birthday, we all have dinner together. If you don't go back, you will miss her birthday party. Oh, how could you forget such an important thing? Zhao Qingsu suddenly remembered this incident. She patted her head and said with a wry smile, "Pregnancy really makes women stupid for 3 years. My brain is not working well anymore. Let's go back home quickly." Before she returned to China, she did not forget to tell Chi Han the news. When Chi Han learned that she was returning to China, He excitedly said that he would go to pick her up at the airport. Zhao Qingsu shook her head. Aren't you very busy at work? If you are so busy, don't come to pick me up. Let's get together again when you are free. Don't worry, I have plenty of time recently. Chi-Han smiled, with a hint of happiness and sweetness in his tone, which made Zhao Qingsu realize that something was wrong. She asked Chi-Han a few questions, but Chi-Han said nothing, so she had to let the matter go. The next day, after saying goodbye to Dilir Salami, Su Yuan, Zhao Qingsu, Li Hao, and the three little ones returned to China on a private plane. It is already late autumn in China. As soon as she got off the plane, Zhao Qingsu felt the coolness in the air. But she didn't care. Instead, she took a deep breath and laughed. It's finally not hot in China. Summer is really not a place for people to stay. Put on your coat quickly. Su Yuan reluctantly gave her a shawl. Led by the staff, they quickly walked out of the airport through the VIP channel. Sure enough, Chi-Han and Meng Zhu were already waiting at the door. Seeing Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu coming out, she immediately ran towards Zhao Qingsu and hugged her neck. Zhu'er, you're finally back. I almost wanted to die after not seeing you for several months. No one accompanied me shopping for several months. Don't you have colleagues? Zhao Qingsu was strangled by her and almost couldn't breathe. She said helplessly, Of course you can only have one best friend. Chi-Han said as a matter of course. Besides, how can my colleagues compare with you? Your vision is the best in the world. Don't praise me. After Chi-Han hugged Zhao Qingsu, he went to tease Ping and Rui and Yan Yan, making the atmosphere quite lively. Meng Zhu was frowning beside her, watching her movements, his eyes full of worry. Zhao Qingsu looked at Meng Zhu, then at Chi-Han, and suddenly seemed to have discovered something wrong, so she asked tentatively, Han, how come you've gained so much weight in just a few months? It seems Meng Zhu has been feeding you well these past few months. What do you mean I've gained so much weight in just a few months? Who doesn't gain weight when they're pregnant? Chi-Han stroked his belly as if nothing had happened. But her words made Zhao Qingsu's eyes suddenly widen, and she asked in surprise, Are you pregnant? Well, the month isn't that big yet, it's only 4 months. I was wondering why you suddenly gained so much weight. Turns out you're pregnant, that's great. Chi-Han can be said to be Zhao Qingsu's best sister. In the past few years, she got married, had children, and raised them all in one go. She hardly encountered any difficulties, and everything she did went smoothly. But her little sister was always cheated by a scumbag, and then she had some conflicts with Meng Zhu. It didn't feel like a relationship, but more like brothers. This gave Zhao Qingsu a headache, and she was actually very worried about her. But now that she finally has a child, Zhao Qingsu is so happy. This means that she and Meng Zhu are really settled. I'm really suffocating. Seeing Chi-Han tell the news, Meng Zhu finally spoke up. I said you are only 4 months pregnant now, which is a very dangerous time. The doctor told you to stay at home and take care of the baby and not run around. Not only did you insist on coming to the airport to pick me up, but you also ran around. What if there is any problem with the baby? He had wanted to say this a long time ago, but Chi-Han insisted on revealing the news himself and didn't allow him to say any more. He almost suffocated to death just now. Zhao Qingsu looked at Chi-Han helplessly. That's right, I said you are going to be a mother now. Why are you still making such a fuss? It's just a baby. My baby won't be that fragile. Chi-Han stepped forward and took Zhao Qingsu's arm. Zhu'er, now that we are both pregnant at the same time, the age difference between our children is only a few months. If it is a boy and a girl, then we will become relatives. If it is sisters or brothers, then we will become sworn brothers. Although Zhao Qingsu has always advocated free love, she did not spoil the mood at this time, but nodded with a smile. Li Hao had been out of work for several months. He finally returned to the capital to work, so after getting off the plane, he said hello to everyone and took Yan Yan back to the capital. And a few of them returned to the villa. Zhao Qingsu talked about Chi-Han's wedding. You and Meng Zhu have been together for so long, you are already engaged, and you are pregnant. When are you going to get married? Meng Zhu and I have already discussed the matter of marriage. We were planning to hold the wedding in the next few days, but I didn't expect that I would get pregnant. This little guy is really making me suffer. I don't want to get married with a big belly and an ugly face, so we plan to hold the wedding after the baby is born and when the baby is 1 year old. As she spoke, she held Meng Zhu's hand, and the two smiled at each other. Anyway, the two of us plan to get the marriage certificate in a few days. The wedding is just a formality, and it doesn't matter when it's held. It's not a wise choice to hold a wedding when you're pregnant. It's a good idea to hold a wedding when the child is 1 year old. Zhao Qingsu nodded. But your birthday is in 2 days. How about letting me host your birthday party to celebrate your pregnancy? I will make sure you have an unforgettable birthday. No need to go to so much trouble, right? I'm just casually celebrating my birthday. Why do you have to make such a big deal about it? Chi-Han shook his head. We can just have a casual meal together like we did in previous years. How can we do this? Such a big event must be celebrated properly. Zhao Qingsu was rarely so overbearing. I don't care. I will definitely give you a good birthday. You decide for yourself. Zuer, I've made up my mind. Chapter 496, you sit down, I'll go. Chapter 496. After deciding to prepare a good birthday party for Chi-Han, Zhao Qingsu became extremely busy after returning. He was selecting venues and decorating them and contacting various companies to organize events all day long. He personally drew the blueprints for many of the decorations on site and then found companies to implement them. She would go to the site to supervise the work whenever she had nothing to do, which made no one dare to be lazy. A busy week passed, and it was the day before Chi-Han's birthday. Chi-Han suddenly had the idea of eating hot pot at home, so he called Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu to come over. It just so happened that Zhao Qingsu also wanted to eat hot pot, so she patted her butt, left the two little ones behind, and ran to Chi-Han's house. She was still chatting with Chi-Han on the way, and Chi-Han sent her pictures of hot pot ingredients. She was drooling as she watched. I've had a big appetite since I got pregnant. I'm going to make you bankrupt today. She replied with this, but Chi-Han didn't reply for a long time. Thinking that Chi-Han might be busy preparing the hot pot base and washing the ingredients at home and therefore had no time to reply, Zhao Qingsu didn't think much about it and was very happy to go eat hot pot. Soon Su Yuan parked the car downstairs of Chi-Han's community and went upstairs with ease. Ding-dong! She rang the doorbell, but no one opened the door for a long time, which made her confused, so she rang it a few more times. After pressing the button for nearly 2 minutes, Chi-Han finally opened the door. Her expression looked a little ugly. The eye circles are also a little red. Did you have a fight with Meng Zhu? Zhao Qingsu was stunned for a moment, asked subconsciously, and then said angrily, Really? Why is he still arguing with you when you are already pregnant? No. Chi-Han quickly shook his head. Who's coming? Just when Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu were about to go in and ask Chi-Han about the situation in detail, a serious female voice suddenly sounded in the living room. This voice made Zhao Qingsu stunned for a moment. Is there someone in the living room? Oh, my friend is here. Chi-Han replied to the living room, then looked at Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu, and smiled reluctantly. My mother-in-law came over just now, and I was talking to her in the living room, so I didn't have time to open the door for you in time, sorry. Are you having friends over? If you are, come sit down in the living room. We are having hot pot. Come and eat with us. The voice inside continued speaking, as if she was the hostess. This made Zhao Qingsu very confused. It was the first time she knew about Chi-Han's mother-in-law. But on second thought, Meng Zhu and Chi-Han were about to get their marriage certificate, and Chi-Han was pregnant again, so it was normal for her mother-in-law to come and take care of her during the confinement period. She didn't think much about it, and after changing shoes with Su Yuan, she went to the restaurant. A beef hot pot was bubbling with steam on the table in the restaurant, and the surrounding side dishes were colorfully laid out all over the table, looking very appetizing. Sitting at the main seat of the table was a woman who was probably in her early 50s. The woman was wearing a gray sweater, her hair was neatly tied back, and her expression didn't reveal how happy she was. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu thought that she was Chi-Han's mother-in-law after all, so they walked over and took the initiative to greet her. Hello, Auntie. Hello. The middle-aged woman nodded and pointed to the empty seat next to her. Since you are my daughter-in-law's friends, please sit down and eat. Good. The two of them found a place to sit down, and Chi-Han also sat next to them. She didn't say anything, and the atmosphere was a bit heavy. In order to ease the atmosphere, Su Yuan took the initiative to ask, Where is Meng Zhu? Where did he go? Oh, we forgot to buy pepper oil when we bought the bowls before. My mother-in-law loves pepper oil, so he went out to buy pepper oil. Chi-Han replied, I see. Su Yuan nodded and spoke to the middle-aged woman. Auntie, your taste is quite special. Anyway, when we eat hot pot, we always put pepper oil in the bowl. The middle-aged woman replied with a fake smile. When she heard the doorbell ring, she hurriedly called Chi-Han to open the door. What are you still standing there for? Go open the door. Chi-Han didn't say anything, just stood up and opened the door. The middle-aged woman made Zhao Qingsu very unhappy. Obviously, her daughter-in-law is already 4 months pregnant. As a mother-in-law, she should take meticulous care of her daughter-in-law, but she shouldn't speak to her in such a commanding tone, right? But no matter what, this was someone else's family affair, and Zhao Qingsu couldn't interrupt, so she could only endure it silently. Mom, I bought you some pepper oil. Please pour it into your bowl. Meng Zhu walked in rubbing his hands and handed the pepper oil to the middle-aged woman. The middle-aged woman took the pepper oil and placed it on the table. She looked at Meng Zhu, who was shivering from the cold with a distressed look on her face. Is it very cold? Hurry up and drink some hot soup to warm yourself up so you don't catch a cold. After she finished speaking, she glanced at Qi Han next to her with dissatisfaction. I don't know how you can be a wife. Don't you know to dress your man warmly when he goes out shopping? Mom, I was in a hurry to go out and buy you some pepper oil, so I forgot to wear my coat. What do you think Han is doing? Meng Su frowned. You two haven't even gotten married yet, and you're already siding with her. It's true that once you have a wife, you forget your mother. The woman in the middle rolled her eyes and did not continue the topic. Instead, she looked at Qi Han and said, The pepper oil has been on the table for such a long time. Don't you know to open the pepper oil and pour it into my bowl? As a daughter-in-law, how can you not have such good eyesight? Isn't this intentional bullying? If you want to eat pepper oil, can't you do it yourself? Why don't you just open the pepper oil instead of talking about it? Zhao Qingsu got angry almost instantly and opened her mouth to argue with the middle-aged woman. But Qi Han quickly grabbed her hand and told her not to speak. He silently picked up the pepper oil and opened the package. Then he walked to the middle-aged woman and poured the pepper oil into her bowl. Do you know what a bowl of spices is? How can I eat it if you pour so much pepper oil on it? I think you just want to make things difficult for me. But not long after Qi Han fell, the middle-aged woman suddenly got furious. Qi Han gritted his teeth and said, Mom, this is my fault. I'll change the bowl for you. Never mind. Meng Zhu stood up and helped Qi Han sit down. You sit down, I'll go. Chapter 497, No means no. Chapter 497, How can a man like you do such a thing? Put down the bowl in your hand immediately. When she saw that she was going to elementary school, the middle-aged woman suddenly became anxious. Mom, I said I'm going, and I'm going. Your way of doing things is not acceptable in our family, so don't bring that way to my place. Meng Zhu's tone was very serious when he said this. After hearing what he said, the middle-aged woman confronted him quietly for 5 seconds, then sat down in her seat silently. If you want to go, then go. I won't care about you in this matter. But anyway, I'll make it clear to you in advance that women should not be spoiled. If you spoil a woman, she will be lawless, and you will regret it later. Mom, okay. If you think I talk too much, I won't say anything. The middle-aged woman then quietly began to eat the hot pot. But because of what had just happened, she was not very happy with the meal. One reason is that we are all 4 young people who usually joke with each other. So the atmosphere is usually quite good when discussing embarrassing things that happened to us in the past. But this time, with the addition of a middle-aged woman, no one dared to talk at all. Secondly, the middle-aged woman kept picking up food for Meng Zhu and kept talking to herself, using a lot of educational words in her mouth. Han, to be honest, I believe you can see how outstanding our child is. He could have found a better girl to marry. If it weren't for the fact that you two have a child, I would have asked him to break up with you. But Auntie is not unreasonable. Even though you already have a child, I won't force anything. If you want to be together, then be together. But I still have some requirements for my daughter-in-law. Since you have become our daughter-in-law, you must learn to do your duty as a daughter-in-law. I won't say much about the basic things like washing clothes, cooking, and housework. You must learn them. But the most important thing is to take good care of my children. Remember this. Another thing is the matter of the child. I don't know whether the baby in your belly is a boy or a girl, but in this era it doesn't matter. You can go for a checkup when the pregnancy is a little bit older. If it is a girl, I won't ask you to abort it. After all, it is a life. But I tell you in advance that you must take good care of your body and prepare for the second child as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you don't hurry up and have a second child at your age, it will be too late. The words said by middle-aged women can basically be said to be a collection of all the feudal dregs of recent decades. Zhao Qingsu almost cursed several times after hearing this. It was not easy to finish this meal. Meng Zhu stood up and winked at Qi Han. Han, since you're done eating, go see your friend off. Mom and I haven't seen each other for a long time, so let's go talk in the room. Good. Qi Han breathed a sigh of relief and pulled Zhao Qingsu outside. Han, are you crazy? That woman has said so much, and you didn't even say a word in rebuttal. After going out, Zhao Qingsu couldn't help but start complaining. If this happened to her, she would probably go crazy. But she also understood Qi Han. Her mother treated her, and Qi Han's mother-in-law in the same way. What's the point of me refudating? His mother has a very strong personality. If I refute her, we will definitely quarrel. At that time, quarreling will not do any good for me except hurting our feelings. Chihan smiled bitterly. Anyway, his mother won't live with us for a long time. At most, she will only live with us for a month or two. We can just bear with it. Why? Zhao Qingsu had no choice but to say, why don't you move in with me for the next 2 months? There are a lot of empty rooms in the villa anyway, so I'll clean up a room for you and move in. This way, not only can you avoid your mother-in-law, but we can also keep each other company. Don't even think about it. If I hide away, he will be annoyed to death. Chihan shook his head. It's only a matter of a few days. As I said, just bear with it and it will pass. You are too easy to bully. Zhao Qingsu sighed. Okay, if you really can't stand it anymore, just tell me and I'll come to your house to pick you up. You're my good sister, you're so beautiful and your career is going well. There must be many people who want a good girl like you. If she continues to be so excessive, then at worst we can just change families. If that doesn't